it's humor.
You understand, if you can make somebody laugh, you can make them listen. And laughter don't got no race, no color, no age, no gender. That's one of the things that we all could agree upon. No matter where you at in life, you want to laugh.
Wallow 267 uses his ability to make people laugh as a hook to get them to listen to his advocacy for reform and to help other people from underserved backgrounds avoid the pitfalls that derailed his younger years. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Now's the time to shop limited-time doorbuster deals during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Save $50 on a Little Giant King Combo 6-foot ladder. Was $199, now $149. Plus, save $100 on a DeWalt XR 20-volt Power Stack 5-amp-hour battery. Was $199, now $99. Get these can't-miss deals now before they're gone. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Doorbusters valid 1/13 through 1/15. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You are not put here to be a white man's footstool. You are put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, so man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Monday, January 13th, 2025. So I guess it's not a secret anymore. The new lineup that we have going on here at 1017 The Truth, which is slated to start, if I'm not mistaken, 1 week from today. It's essentially the shows that are on either side of my program. Jammin' with Juice will now be our new morning show. I, of course, will stay put from 9 a.m. until noon. And then Kyle Wallace, our content director, will be hosting that 1 hour time slot formerly filled by Jammin' with Juice, and his new show is going to be Truth to Power. So looking forward to the new lineup. And, of course, Tori Lowe stays the same, as does Dr. Ken. So we're mixing it up here a little bit at 1017 The Truth. I will have both Benjamin and Carrie Noni Juice in studio with me at about, they're supposed to be here at 11:30, but ain't no telling what time they're actually going to show up. So they can tell you about what their morning show is going to consist of, all of the work that went into them preparing to have this opportunity, and just giving you all their perspective on how they want to do morning radio. So I am very proud of this new lineup that we're going to have here on 1017 The Truth. Ever-changing, ever-evolving, trying to bring as many different and diverse perspectives to our airwaves as possible. I got some things today, ladies and gentlemen, some of which may be controversial, the things that I say. So you know it's bad if I'm saying ahead of time that the conversation today may verge into the controversial. I'm not going to start with the controversial things. I'm not going to begin with it. I got to kind of ease into it, kind of slide into the controversy at some point later on in the show. I also want to give you some details about the Donald Trump inauguration, which is 1 week from today. What is noticeable, now I'm not going to go into too much detail about the inauguration because we've got plenty of time to get to that, but what is noticeable 1 week prior to the inauguration is that protest permits are down. In fact, local law enforcement feels really good about being able to have full and total control over the inauguration, and they are assuring the public that it will be a safe event. In fact, protest permits are so low that the National Mall is going to be open to the public during the inauguration. Last time we had an inauguration, it was January 20th, 2021, and we were still reeling from the terrorist attack on the U.S. Capitol that took place just 2 weeks prior to that on January 6th, 2021. It seems to me that the nation, or those who would be vehemently opposed to Trump, have surrendered. They've resigned to the fact that he got elected, and the margin in which he got elected, at least in the Electoral College, was wide enough to where those that may have voted for a third party or voted for Kamala Harris, or people that didn't vote at all, are not angry enough to stage any kind of major protest events. Now, here's the other thing. Just because there aren't specific permits pulled for protest marches and events does not mean that protesters are not going to show up. But as of right now, they're saying that the protest permits are way, way down. So I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if the American public has resigned. I'm not sure. So over the weekend, I had a conversation with one of my friends who I would deem is probably one of the smartest people that I know. And he told me something that I didn't know you could do. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know it was possible, probable, or plausible to do this thing that he says he does routinely. And it freaked me out. And because I got freaked out, guess what? I need to freak you out too. I'm not going to be freaked out by myself. I need to share the freak outness. In fact, you know what I really need for this segment? I need Benjamin's tinfoil hat. I really do, because it is that. Ben, no, don't bring it in here. But wear it when you come in at 11:30, please. All right, thank you. It's that kind of, I don't even want to call it a conspiracy. I'm terrified of it, and I'm not really afraid of a lot of things. I've dealt with a lot. I've seen a lot. Once you've seen your home address posted on the internet in a white nationalist, white supremacist Facebook page, and people are threatening to come to your house and kill you, like once you get through that, there's not really much that can move you. And doing this line of work after a period of time, you become unflappable to the words of others, right? But this thing that my friend told me, he was real nonchalant about it, which made me even more petrified. He said that when people die, people that were of like prominence, or people that were notorious, or people that were sensational, or infamous people, maybe even famous people. When somebody dies, and he does this with local people, and he does this with national people as well. It's a real weird thing to do. But sometimes people that are very, very smart, like super intelligent, they do a lot of weird stuff. Kanye West does a lot of weird stuff. I also think he's super intelligent. Like sometimes genius looks like insanity. They're very much interchangeable. So when you die, someone can request your FBI file. Did you know that? They can file under the Freedom of Information Act, and the government turns this information over to anyone who requests it after you die. So if there was someone that was of, you know, they were an anti-government extremist, or they were known for, starting and creating protests or whatever the case may be, whatever kind of controversy they may have been in. Maybe they went to prison. Maybe they were a political prisoner. And yes, we have political prisoners here in the United States. When they die, you can write and there's templates on the internet for how you can request the FBI file of someone who is dead. Now, they have to be dead. Like, you have to have documentation that they're actually dead. You need a copy of their death certificate, which I'm not mistaken, death certificates are public record. And you can request the FBI file of anyone who is deceased. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But then there's this other part that I want to get to, and this is the part that freaked me out. Because I don't care about an FBI file of someone that's dead. And that's not really, I don't care. Right? I can't think of anybody who has passed away in the last 20 or 25 years where I want to know that level of detail about them to where I would make a request of the FBI. I just didn't really fascinate me all that much. But here's the part that freaked me out. You can request your own FBI file. Have you ever participated in a protest? Have you ever organized a protest? Have you ever been involved in anything that can be considered anti-establishment, anti-America, anti-police, anti-law enforcement? Have you ever done any of those things? Have you ever gone to, maybe it was a meeting, maybe it was the Democratic Socialists of America, and they got your name from a Bernie Sanders rally back in 2016, and you agreed to go to a meeting, and you signed a sign-up sheet. You ever been involved in any of those things? I got to think long and hard. Have you ever sent a text message that showed your disdain for, I don't know, a presidential candidate or a former or soon-to-be next president of the United States? Chances are the FBI has a file on you and each and every one of us. And so when he told me this, that I can request my own FBI file, I'm terrified. Let me tell you why. Because a lot of my career, I have been very much anti-establishment, anti-government, to the extent it harms people and harms people that look like me. In the summer of 2013, I emceed an event. Several thousand people were there. It was to protest the George Zimmerman verdict relating to the murder of Trayvon Martin. In fact, the National Action Network, which is the Reverend Al Sharpton's nonprofit organization, organized protests at federal courthouses all over the country on that one particular day. And I was the MC of that event. Most of that event was anti-federal court, anti-federal legislators. We even held the Obama administration to task because they failed to prove their case in a federal court when it came to the murder of Trayvon Martin. You remember George Zimmerman? We don't talk about him very much, do we? But he's still somewhere running around. He even got his gun back. Do y'all remember that? Do you remember how angry the country was and how they did this hatchet job on Trayvon Martin, who was a 17-year-old kid that was walking home in the rain with some Skittles and an Arizona iced tea, and George Zimmerman just didn't like the way Trayvon Martin looked. There was a struggle, and then Trayvon Martin was murdered. Well, there was a series of protests that took place on the steps of federal courthouses all over the country. The attempt was to get a protest at every federal courthouse in all 50 states. I'm not sure if that goal was met. But some of the things that we said, and we had a bunch of different speakers, we had families who had been impacted by vigilante violence and by police violence the entire afternoon. That in and of itself probably got an FBI file opened on me, because here I am emceeing an event on the federal courthouse steps, talking about how law enforcement has simply failed people that look like myself and look like Trayvon Martin and look like Tamir Rice and to some extent look like George Floyd. I'm going to take a break. When I come back, I'm going to give you the details of how you can request your own FBI file. I'm scared to request mine. Let me tell you why I'm scared to request mine. Because now the rules are going to change in 168 hours, give or take. That is 1 week from today when Donald Trump gets inaugurated. The number of people that will have FBI files opened up on them in the Trump administration will be beyond legendary, because it will be people that are operating in the normal functionality of our democracy. Any media that was ever anti-Trump, any cable news, MSNBC, CNN, NBC, you name it, CBS, will probably have FBI files opened up on them as well. And so the question is, what can the FBI do? They can put you under constant surveillance. They can monitor your financial transactions. They can monitor your travel. Every so often when you get pulled out of line, when you're at the airport because you're trying to fly somewhere, you get on an airplane, you want to go to Florida. I like Florida. Maybe some of you want to go to Atlanta, Georgia. I've never been to Atlanta, Georgia, but I heard it's very nice. Maybe you want to get on an airplane and you want to go to New York. Maybe you want to go to California and fight some wildfires. You ever been pulled out of the line and they randomly search you? They check you when you go on and getting on an airplane? You have to wonder, is that because there's an open FBI file on you? I'm going to take a break. When I come back, I'm going to give you the details of how you can get the information that the FBI has on you. And by law, they got to provide it to you. Every human being that is a citizen in the United States has the right to know what information the FBI has on them. And now I'm over here thinking about some of the text messages I've sent. I might have sent some text messages to Benjamin that might put me and Benjamin on the FBI watch list. That freaks me out, y'all. I don't like that. I don't like that. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation! Join us for the 41st annual Martin Luther King Jr. birthday celebration at the Marcus Performing Arts Center on Monday, January 20th, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. This Milwaukee tradition honors MLK's legacy through inspiring speeches by talented students, from first graders to high school seniors. Let's celebrate MLK's birthday and the future leaders of tomorrow together, under one roof at the Marcus Performing Arts Center Monday, January 20th. Let's celebrate. No justice, no peace.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
People will tell you that race is a social construct and that there's no biological reality that distinguishes between a white individual and a black individual. So what does that mean if there are these quote-unquote disparities, right? It means that the way we move through a society is markedly different, right? And that the experience that we have has biological consequences. Is when you're in a society where people are constantly discriminating against a certain group, denying access, don't have control over the institutions that govern our lives. All of those things create a biological reality and a response, whether it's a stress hormone or a fear or something that could be passed on, what we call epigenetics, which means what my mother or my grandmother experienced had an effect on what formed me in my responses to those stressors. That's how we can be two individual people with very little difference, but have totally, vastly different experiences as we move through our reproductive health.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The MPS City Conference basketball season is starting to heat up, and we are bringing you all the live hoops action right here on 101.7 The Truth. It's Ladies' Night. Tune in Tuesday as the Milwaukee Hamilton Wildcats host Milwaukee School of Languages Hawks. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. City Conference basketball is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS Proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
They mean to tell me say some of them get confused. You mean to tell me say some of them I say them don't know how them get used. Jesus pays too much man I try on them shows, man. How them a deal with sir? Yo, easy sir.
So when bashment time come to sign up, we see send up of them out they can't line up. And them can't
Welcome back to the program. Ricky, don't start the week. I'm gonna have a good week. Don't start the week off bad.
I'm just saying, you was on YouTube.
So what?
Sure.
I was responding to your comment, and I was responding. Didn't nobody else see that? That comment that I made, my salute to you, wasn't for nobody else.
That wasn't a salute or a solution, sir.
Yes, it was both. Why everybody got to mess with me?
Nobody's messing with you.
Do I got to mess with me?
Nobody's messing with you.
Written on my face. Y'all think it's sweet.
It's kind of, never mind. You got it.
Thank you, Rick. I was going to ask you how your weekend was, but I don't care, actually.
My weekend was fine.
I don't care.
I worked.
I don't care.
I did the Panthers game this weekend here at the station, and I worked a
wow.
DJ. You know what real DJs do.
Oh, you did. So you DJ. So we some DJs. Actually, I know how rough it is as a DJ.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's tough.
$50, getting paid $50 is rough, huh?
Actually, I'll even go lower than that. I'm gonna undercut every DJ in the city.
You go low and they go to hell, huh? All
Can I do my radio show?
Sure.
Something that
yeah.
You can't do. Can't do a radio show.
Oh, I can't do your show.
You can't. Can I finish my topic? Thank you. In response to the ACLU of Oregon's investigation of FBI surveillance of activists and organizers from around Oregon, the ACLU of Oregon received numerous requests for assistance from people who are curious about their own FBI records. How many of you participated in organized George Floyd protests? And probably a lot of you. And I'm glad that you did, because it showed the world that we have to take police brutality seriously. Now, we haven't done a damn thing policy-wise to stop it, to fix it, to remedy it, but at least people on 6 continents took it seriously, because everybody who saw that video was moved in one way or another. You were moved with either a sense of sympathy, or you were moved in the fact that you thought that he deserved it and Derek Chauvin is some kind of a hero. But everyone was moved. There was no one that saw the murder of George Floyd, the homicide of George Floyd, and had zero emotional reaction to it. Some emotional reactions were more extreme than others. And I remember what the tone was and the temperature, the social climate, because we're in the middle of COVID. People were bottled up in their houses. We were all glued to our screens and our devices. Everybody was doing Zoom calls. Zoom is okay. Teams is horrible. Just my personal disclaimer. I can't imagine some of the things that were said amongst people who were equally outraged by the murder of George Floyd. And I can't imagine some of the activists that exist in some of these cities all over the country because that is why a lot of activists got involved with activism, because of police brutality that they saw in neighborhoods that are, let me just say, underfunded, under-resourced, and vulnerable. Because when you're underfunded, under-resourced, and vulnerable, you get attacked and you have very little recourse, okay? And imagine some of the things that were said about the establishment. Imagine the anti-government sentiment. And you got to keep in mind, Donald Trump was still president when George Floyd was murdered. So imagine all of the anti-government sentiment that was thrown around all over the nation. And not to mention the people that were fighting law enforcement. I can remember seeing protest footage all over the nation of cop cars being turned over, fires being started, buildings being damaged, businesses being looted, even right here in the city of Milwaukee. And a lot of people did this organizing online, and because that is some of the things that people did was in an anti-government, terroristic, extreme way, per the definition of the FBI, because those were anti-government protests. The number of people, maybe even children, have files with the FBI. So a friend of mine told me that when someone is deceased, any of us have the ability and the opportunity to see a deceased person's FBI file. What I did not know is that we, those of us that are living, can request our own FBI files. You may have participated in something, even unwittingly. You may have been on a text message chain with someone who went on to commit some kind of crime. Well, because you were in the tentacles of that person's communication, the FBI might say, oh, that's a known associate. This person that we're surveilling because of their crimes they committed. Well, oh, Sherwin Hughes is an associate, or Kyle Wallace is an associate, or DJ Ricky Allen is an associate. Let's open up the books on them too. You have the right to know if the government has investigated you, and you have the right to see the contents of your FBI file. Dr. Martin Luther King, John Lennon, Cesar Chavez, the list of targets, domestic FBI targets the FBI has surveilled is long and distinguished. In addition to legitimate law enforcement activity, the FBI has, throughout its history, engaged in surveillance of people who have simply had the courage to speak out against government policies. I can't count. I don't know what the number is, the number of times that I have spoke out against government policies in the years I've been doing this work. Most of my shows have been me in one form or another speaking out against government policies, not just to a couple of people, but via a broadcast platform. So this makes me very worried. I'm very nervous. Part of me wants to fill out the little form. I got the form right here. The form that I would fill out and submit to the FBI headquarters to see if they have investigated me and to see what specifically they have investigated, what they were looking at. And here's why I'm nervous. What if the information that they have on me, 'cause I know I got an FBI file. If I was the FBI, I'd have a file on me. What if the things that are in my file are false? Patently false. What if they're associating me with individuals that I don't know, I've never heard of, and people I've never met? Or what if my associations or affiliations are loose with some people? Like, you know how you got friends, you got associates, and you got acquaintances? If any of my friends, associates, or acquaintances went on to commit some kind of crime, in which I wouldn't even know about it, because I know these people at a distance. They're an associate. They're an acquaintance, okay? And they could have been found guilty of something, copped a plea, and I never would know anything about it, but that also could be included in my FBI file. Your right to inspect your own FBI file is, in fact, guaranteed under the Freedom of Information and Privacy Act. Freedom of Information Act, information about organizations, historical events, investigations, and government policies can be obtained under the Freedom of Information Act. 5 U.S. Code Statute 552, FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. Requests should contain the following information: the requester's name, the requester's address, and where to send the FBI file to. Number 3, the subject of the request. Number 4, whether requester is a representative of the news media, which I am. Number 5, the maximum amount requester is willing to pay for the copying fees for their FBI file. Information about you can be obtained under the Privacy Act, 5 U.S. Code Statute 552A. The government may have private information about you, and the government can only disclose that information if you provide the proper waiver. Privacy Act requests should contain the following information: complete name and address. Number 2, include any identifying data that can help the government identify records related to you, such as date and place of birth, former addresses, or social security number. Describe any particular incidents or events in which you were involved that you think you may have come under FBI surveillance. See, so this is a part of the process, or a part of the application form that you would send to the FBI. Think about how revealing that is. So I've done a lot of stuff. Some stuff I don't remember. Some things I've done that I have to rely on other people to tell me about things that I have done. I've lived a long life. I've done a lot of things, been involved in a lot of activities, a lot of groups, a lot of organizations. I've attended a lot of meetings. I've been invited to a lot of things. Some things I never went back to a second meeting, but I've been to a lot of things. You get invited to a lot of stuff. And some of the things I'm sure over the years that I've been invited to could rise to the level of, oh, the FBI might want to keep a close eye on some of these activities. I make no mistake about it. I have friends that have been indicted. I have friends that have gone to jail because of their indictments. I have friends that have copped pleas in federal courts. I'm not hiding that. They're still my friends, regardless of what they do. As long as they ain't do nothing to me, they're still my friends. But for me to have to think about some of the things that may be in my FBI file, what if I reveal something in my application because they say, describe any particular incidents or events in which you were involved that you think you may have come under FBI surveillance? What if I list something that the FBI didn't know about and now they have even more probable cause to reopen or continue an investigation or an open file on me? And I'm not trying to make this about myself. I'm just telling y'all I'm scared as hell. Here's what I want y'all to do. I want one of y'all that maybe you participated in an event or a protest, or you publicly spoke out against the government or government policies. You may have spoken out against marijuana being illegal. And so that is a federal government policy, and maybe you were vocal about it. Maybe you put together a website or a Facebook page, or maybe you signed some sort of a petition. I would be curious if any one of you would be willing to request your FBI file just to see what it says, because I'm curious about like the level of detail that they may have on you. And I know that a bunch of you listening have done things that would rise to the level. And I'm not even saying that you've broken the law. I think that's the misconception here. People think that you would need to have broken the law to have an FBI file on you. No, you just have to participate, even if it's a legitimate free speech activity. But the way this country is so damn crazy about terrorism, if you read the Patriot Act is about stopping American terrorists. It was like a cloak or a shield or a veneer that they told the American people about the Patriot Act. No, the Patriot Act is supposed to go after foreign terrorists and Muslims and people that took down the Twin Towers. That was the impetus to allow the United States to pass a piece of legislation that allows this country to surveil us. We all know this, whether we admit it or not. The biggest terrorism threat is Americans. School shootings are acts of terror. Someone driving a vehicle in a crowded New Year's Eve event in New Orleans are acts of terror. This extremism from the right are acts of terror. Charlottesville were acts of terror. Dylan Roof, acts of terror. In fact, most of the acts of terror that I could ever name are Americans against other Americans. We have to surveil other Americans because we have so much freedom in this country, and we have the right to bear arms, and we have freedom of speech. With those two things, what could possibly go wrong? You mean I got the freedom to say whatever I want to say, and I also have the freedom to have a gun and carry a gun in public and open carry a gun in public? Americans are the biggest terroristic threat. So the FBI's files have to be on Americans before they're on anybody else. And the Patriot Act gives the FBI that ability. This does not mean that you broke any laws, you committed any crimes whatsoever, but your activity could rise to the level of where the FBI would need to keep an eyeball on you. Now remember, if you think the FBI is just in the Washington, D.C., oh no, they just built a brand new, well, it ain't brand new no more, a command center in St. Francis. It's very beautiful. They have a beautiful building in St. Francis, which is a suburb of Milwaukee County. I remember when they built it because Congresswoman Gwen Moore was there at the building opening. And I remember I was on the air at the time when they opened up that brand new shiny, it's right on the lake too. Why the FBI need a beautiful glass building on the lake? It's beautiful. Paid for with your tax dollars. I know why. So they can keep an eye on you. Take a break, come back, give you the rest of the details that you need to request your FBI file. And I wonder if any of you will do it. And if you do, if any of you request your FBI file and you get it and there's information in there, I'd love to have you on the show if you'd be willing to reveal it. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, get ready to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community as we host our first annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be a Truth family party where we will celebrate the unsung heroes of our community and we roll out the red carpet for those making a positive impact every day. Tickets are selling fast, so go to 1017thetruth.com today to make sure you do not miss out on the biggest celebration in Milwaukee. Tickets are only $25 and includes free food, free drinks, and free truth giveaways. Don't miss an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to buy your tickets to our Truth Community Awards. That is 1017thetruth.com to secure your spot for a night of celebrating the excellence of our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth. It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Sherwin Hughes with his truth.
Most people don't know that a county executive is a higher elected position than a mayor. Most people don't know what a state assembly representative does, a state senator, nor their function in overall state government. Most people, in fact, don't know what a school board representative actually does. Ask a person who their county board supervisor is, and they'll likely shrug their shoulders. Also, most people don't vote. We're in for a world of hurt. If we don't know the functions of our government at the very basic level, then we are not nearly equipped for what is going to happen to this nation for the next 4 years. All they had to do was tell unsophisticated folks gas prices are too high, inflation is too high, bacon and eggs cost too much. It's this guy's fault. It's this party's fault. Vote for us. Don't think about the criminal prosecutions. Don't think about all the malfeasance. Don't think about all of the misconduct and the corruption. We're going to make your bacon cheaper. We're going to make your eggs cheaper. We're also going to gut the FBI. We're also going to gut anything related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're going to shred this nation from the top to the bottom, all in favor of a handful of folks. How about this? Let's tell people that immigrants are actually the problem. And then Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk will bring in the most highly trained immigrants this nation has ever seen. Why? Because Americans are none the wiser. Don't believe me? Look at public school children's performance, not just in Milwaukee, not just in Wisconsin, but nationwide. Get ready for a long ride, ladies and gentlemen. A very long ride.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
My name is. My name is. My name is. Name's Sadie. My name is. My name is. My name is. Name's Sadie.
Welcome back to the program. Well, apparently, Ben and Carrie are very excited about their morning show, and Carrie's excitement is spilling over into my show, which I don't need. I don't need your excitement. I already said congratulations to y'all, and you're going to have a little bit of a honeymoon. It's going to be a little bit of a grace period, and then guess what? It's over. No more grace. They already announced it. It's on the screensaver on the Truth YouTube page. It's not a secret no more. It's already out there publicly. It's on a podcast, for God's sakes. Anything else you guys would like to add? You know what, Ricky? I want to request your FBI file. I bet it is. It's thicker than the Bible.
I don't have an FBI file. I almost did, but no, I don't.
Yeah, I guarantee you do.
I don't have an FBI file.
Maybe
my father and my uncles do. I came close to having an FBI file, but no.
Rick, you got to understand, it doesn't matter if you broke the law or not. If you did anything that rises to the level of where you should be monitored, you were a producer, still are a producer on Milwaukee Black Talk Radio, not just at this station, but at previous stations, where if any of the hosts said anything that rose to the level of where the FBI might need to keep an eye on things, I guarantee you have an FBI file.
So you said something that they need to keep an eye on?
Oh, God, yeah. Several times a week.
Sir, you are a liability.
No, I think it makes me a good talk show host.
No.
I have to sometimes, part of my use of freedom of speech is I have an obligation to point out where there are policies that are unfair, and then I encourage people, I push people into action to do something about it. And maybe it's run for office, maybe it's vote, maybe it's register somebody to vote. It could be a whole bunch of things, but if the government sees any kind of a threat in that, if there is impact that people can have where they can, because what the government tries to do, I think at the very least, we don't want another revolution because revolutions suck, and we don't want another civil war, even though I believe we are as close to a civil war right now as we were in, say, 2025 is probably similar to like 1858, 1859, where temperatures were starting to rise amongst Northern Republicans and Southern Dixiecrats. They were just kind of getting fed up with one another, and Abraham Lincoln was soon to be elected, and Abraham Lincoln wanted to do whatever he could do to keep the Union together, and he failed, but then eventually there were some compromises made that, quote-unquote, somewhat kept the Union together, but we never vanquished the Confederacy. In the long view of history, this is one of the biggest mistakes that we made in this country. In fact, we are more likely to honor Confederate soldiers and generals than we are African-American heroes. I want to give you guys a perspective. Honoring a Confederate soldier, they were traitors. They committed an act of treason. They went to war with their own country. And because we did not completely exterminate the Confederacy, they were allowed to still fly the stars and bars, the Confederate flag. And then they were able to talk about, oh, it's not hate, it's heritage. It's hate! There was a TV show called The Dukes of Hazzard that was on in the 70s and the 80s where we had to watch the General Lee, named after a Confederate general. You understand that that's like naming a car, a German naming a car after Adolf Hitler? Same thing. Having Confederate monuments anywhere in this country is like having statues of SS members and Adolf Hitler in Germany. It is the same thing. They did their level best to extinguish Nazism in Germany. Did they get rid of it? No, they pushed it to other countries. But if you ever spoke out against any of that, technically, you could have an FBI file because of that. Charlottesville, Virginia, 2016, when Donald Trump said there's good people on both sides, that was to tear down a Confederate monument that the people in Charlottesville, Virginia didn't want. I think it was the statue of Robert E. Lee, because wasn't Robert E. Lee from Virginia? And the people in that town said, we don't want to celebrate a Confederate. Probably one of the biggest mistakes I think we've made in this country is we did not treat traitors like traitors. We called them heroes. There was even there's a cemetery somewhere in Madison, a Union cemetery. And this came out. Who was the previous mayor of Madison? The dude he was insane, like literally, like clinically insane. Paul Soglin. I interviewed Paul Soglin. Oh, this was years ago. Probably 20. It might have been right around the Charlottesville thing. So in Madison, they found, Camp Randall that's the name of the place where the Badgers play the footballs. The Camp Randalls. That's where they played the sports ball game of football. Well, Camp Randall was a fort, a Union encampment where Union soldiers gathered and were trained and were then dispatched to other parts of the Civil War. Wisconsin has a really deep history in the Civil War. It's very fascinating, actually. And so there's a cemetery somewhere near Camp Randall. And then Paul Soglin came on my show because they found something that was very disturbing. They found that there were Confederate soldiers buried next to Union soldiers at or around either Camp Randall or the cemetery near Camp Randall that is dedicated to Union soldiers. That is like having a Jewish person that fought in World War II being buried next to a Nazi. That was the only sane thing that I think Paul Soglin ever did, because when he was mayor of Madison, he was nuts. Well, he also got the lead pipes removed from the infrastructure in Madison. So I guess he did two decent things while he was mayor. But I think that's the one thing that we failed to do as a nation. We did not completely evaporate from all of the parchments and the scrolls of history the Confederacy, and dare I say it still lives today. And if I have ever spoken out against the Confederacy, which I do all of the time, because Confederacy is the incubator for white supremacy. It is the fertile ovaries of white supremacy in this nation. If I or any of you have ever spoken out against that, you very well may have an FBI file. Information about you can be obtained under the Privacy Act 5 U.S. Code Statute 552A. The government may have private information about you, and the government can only disclose that information if you provide the proper waiver. Privacy Act requests should contain the following information: complete name and address. Include any identifying data that could help the government identify records related to you, such as date and place of birth, former addresses, or social security number. Describe any particular incidents or events in which you were involved that you think may have come under FBI surveillance. Number 4, state how much you were willing to pay for duplication costs. Number 5, sign the request and have it officially notarized. Where to send your request: Freedom of Information Act and Privacy Act requests should be sent to both the FBI in Washington, D.C. and your local FBI office. Federal Bureau of Investigation Records Information / Dissemination Section, Service Request Unit, Room 6359, 935 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20535. The FBI Freedom of Information website contains valuable resources on FOIA and Privacy Act requests, including descriptions of request procedures and programs for making electronic requests. For more information about the ACLU's investigation of domestic surveillance since September 11th, go to aclu.org/spyfiles. I'm going to take a break and I'm going to go to that website, aclu.org/spyfiles. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 101.7 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
It's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Happy New Year means a lot of rough days ahead for those who suffer from seasonal affective disorder. Plenty of gray, frigid days on the horizon where we all just want to be snuggly and warm at home. That's where Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin comes in. Their inviting doors welcome friends and family into a cozy home thanks to Pella's gorgeous, energy-efficient windows, keeping the cold out. Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin showroom today so you can learn the Pella difference and get inspired on making your home more energy efficient and beautiful with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hurry, you only have until January 31st to score Pella's New Year's special. 0% interest for up to 3 years. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you were so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Don't settle for basic, poor-quality gas station car washes this winter. Surf to Tsunami Express Car Wash instead. Tsunami Express's washes offer long-lasting protection against harmful road salt and grime. Try Tsunami Express's brand-new C2 with graphene wash for the glossiest, mirror-like shine. After your wash, enjoy Tsunami Express's powerful free vacuums, mat cleaners, and tire air. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Your first wash is free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I have this information pulled up, and it's infuriating, the information that our government could be collecting on us, even if we're participating in activities that should be covered by the First Amendment and our freedom of speech rights. But you guys got to know that freedom ain't free. There's always going to be a cost. But I don't think that Americans realize that, because we're never told about the cost that we pay for the freedoms that we have. So one way to conceptualize it is they'll tell you, oh, somebody went to war so you can be free over here. Fair enough. World War II is a good example of that, because had the Allies not won, I have a feeling that a bunch of us would be speaking a lot more German than we do. Vietnam, I think the intent was there, the spirit was there, but we lost that war because North Vietnam still remained communist. Trying to fight the communists in Central America, diminished results there. Ultimately, I suppose democracy and capitalism won because the Soviet Union fell in the fall of 1989. But we're told that, America has these military campaigns so that we can maintain our freedom here. That's one cost. We have to lose American lives in theaters of war in order for us to maintain our freedoms. That's one cost. There's a cost in lives in order to preserve our liberty. That's kind of negligible, because I have a feeling that we would still be able to maintain a lot of our freedoms and our liberties had we not gone into any of those theaters of war, and we'd have a lot more service members that would still be here with us today. But another cost that I don't think that we calculate is the surveillance. It's not just there's cameras, y'all, there's cameras everywhere. I just happened to look up the other day. There's more red light cameras than I thought. I remember when it was being debated at the council, this was years ago, when the reckless driving thing really started to get on people's radar, and they were having these debates about, oh, how do we pay for these red light cameras? And you hear about a couple of pilot programs where they do red light cameras. Oh, it's 60th and Capitol, and maybe it's 76th and Good Hope, or wherever. They're everywhere. We're under surveillance everywhere. Not to mention private businesses have their own security cameras. You're under surveillance there too. Every time you go to the ATM, do people still go to the ATM? Do y'all even still use cash anymore? There's a camera there that's documenting your financial transaction and is matching that ATM card you're putting in that machine with your face and your PIN number, and you're being linked and you're tracked via your bank account or via somebody else's bank account. Not to mention all the cameras we have just on our private residences. I can see somebody coming near my house from a half a block away. We are under surveillance constantly, and the main way in which we are under surveillance, and at some point during the show, maybe an hour or two, I'm going to talk about TikTok is basically done. On January 19th, TikTok is officially banned in the United States. The amount of surveillance that these applications have, including Facebook. And please stop posting, I do not give Facebook permission to use my photos and my likeness. That's a hoax. That doesn't work. When you sign up for the Facebook app, it's all in the terms of service and the fine print that none of us read. None of us read the terms of service of your Google account, your Gmail account, your Yahoo account, your email account, your website. The website says they use cookies. What do you do when a website says they use cookies? Accept all. That means they can track you and follow you all over the internet. They know your IP address. Your IP address is logged. Everything. And some of these apps can actually get inside of your phone. They have your contacts. They have your text messages. Some of these apps have access to your videos, have access to your pictures. This is a cost for all of the freedom that we have. And granted, there's a lot of freedom. a lot of freedom that we have via our mobile devices. You know how much freedom I have with my mobile device? I can go to a restaurant, order food, take a picture of the food, and share it with the entire world. Now that's freedom. I can have a thought. It could be a good thought, a bad thought. I could have a question. I could have an answer. I could have a comment. I can post it publicly on the social media, and the whole world will have access to it. Now that's freedom. Freedom to share even our most boring, nonsensical, mundane thoughts with the world. And you know what most Facebook posts are? And let me just be abundantly clear with this. I'm getting sick of Facebook. It's a necessary evil, but I'm starting to hate it. Mark Zuckerberg sat down with Joe Rogan for 3 hours, I think last week, Thursday or Friday. I watched probably an hour and a half of that interview, and I hate Facebook now more than ever. In fact, I am terrified by it. Now that the oligarchs, now that the billionaires are all lining up behind Donald Trump, even Jeff Bezos, who controls one of the most powerful corporations on planet Earth, named Amazon, are contributing millions and millions of dollars to Donald Trump's inauguration, because the tech bros, the Elon Musks and the Vivek Ramaswamis, they're all lining up behind Donald Trump. So this is even more reason to fear the FBI, even more reason to fear the oligarchical control of our government, even more reason to fear that some of the applications that they control have all of our private information. So if we start banning some of these applications, and I'm okay with them banning TikTok, because I've been off of TikTok for almost 2 years now, and I could not be happier. Because you know what these apps are doing? You know what your cell phones are doing? And Sprint admitted this a couple of years ago. I think one other cell phone company might have admitted, maybe U.S. Cellular or Verizon. They admitted that when the government asked for our cell phone records and our text messages because we were under surveillance, any American that was under surveillance, those cell phone companies never denied the government when they asked for our personal private cell phone records and activities. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. On Friday night, the Panthers look to be victorious as they host conference foe, the Youngstown State Penguins.
Stillwell takes it out of there. Panthers tied at 40 apiece. Folks on a step-through score. 94 feet of Themis Folks to give Milwaukee the lead right back.
Scott Warris has the coverage Friday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Juice WRLD, what do you like to do in the morning time?
You know what, Benjamin? I like to do my radio show in the morning time.
Wait, we doing the radio show in the morning?
That is right. Jamming with Juice is now moving on up to 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
So you can listen to us in your mama's house, in your mama's car, your daddy's house. You can listen to us on the way to school. Even watch us on YouTube.
So tap in for our debut morning of Jamming with Juice on January 20th, 2025.
From 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Wipe the crust out your eyes.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was a song that myself and Common wrote. Two brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Prostate cancer screening is a simple blood test. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Your family history of prostate cancer increases the risk for all the men in your family. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Prostate cancer is most treatable when it's detected early. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Men, It's your life. That's why it's so important to talk to your doctor about getting tested. If you want info on how to take action, the Prostate Cancer Foundation is here to help. For more than 30 years, PCF, a leader in scientific breakthroughs, has funded cutting-edge research that speeds new treatments into clinics, helping patients live longer with fewer complications. Go to pcf.org to learn more about prostate cancer and how you can advocate for yourself. Remember, it's your life, and it's a simple blood test. Get it done.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I think I'm going to start playing more rock. I feel like rocking out. Go ahead, Jimmy. Talk to him. Said the Joker to the thief. First hour, I was talking about the likelihood that the FBI has surveilled a lot of us if you participated in any kind of activity that could be considered extreme or threatening or revolutionary or speaks out against the government. You very well could have an FBI file on you. Y'all, this does not mean that you broke the law. That's the important part. So for those of you that think that you may not have an FBI file because you've never broken the law, you've never been charged, au contraire, mon frere. Now, if you have been charged with a felony, even if you didn't do any time in confinement, you got a felony conviction, you got a file. But you knew that, though. But any other activity that you may have participated in that is non-felonious could very well trigger the FBI to just keep an eye on you, because there are unprecedented surveillance powers that have been given to the federal government. They've always had some, even with a program called Echelon. This is in the 1960s. Anyone who used certain combinations of words that could be construed to say you wanted to threaten the president, you wanted to hurt the president, you wanted to kill the president. This is after JFK was assassinated, and that was November 22nd, 1963. So they had the technology in the early 1960s. And so what would happen is somebody would be on the phone, and you would make some kind of disparaging remark or a threat against the president, and immediately your phone call would be recorded. And the federal government has been open about the Echelon program for 60 years. So that's the technology that they had in the early 1960s. Can you imagine what they have now? Just imagine for 1 second how much more advanced the technology is to monitor each and every one of us, all of our financial transactions, our text messages, our phone calls, our travel plans, and just our mundane conversations that we may have. Part of being black in America is to have some level of discontent about something. It could be the underfunding of education in black neighborhoods. It could be the depressed value of properties in black communities. It could be policing that seems to be a bit heavy-handed when it comes to certain census tracts and certain zip codes. It could be a policymaker that is not doing right by their constituents. It could be speaking out against a vigilante that was exonerated, but yet you got upset, you wanted to form a protest, and you galvanized more people to get behind you and to show up at this protest. It could be any or all of our George Floyd-related protest activities could rise to the level of, we got to keep an eye on this person because they may be a bit of a rabble-rouser. All right. From the ACLU's Surveillance and Spy Files website. Today, the government is spying on Americans in ways the founders of our country never would have imagined. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, federal intelligence agencies, the military, state and local police, Private companies and even firemen and emergency medical technicians are gathering incredible amounts of personal information about ordinary Americans that can be used to construct vast dossiers that can be widely shared through new institutions like the Joint Terrorism Task Forces, fusion centers, and public-private partnerships. You got to keep in mind, Donald Trump is going to have all of this power, and plus he's protected by the Supreme Court in which he can break no laws. What I'm reading to you right now are federal government surveillance powers that existed under Joe Biden, under Barack Obama, under George W. Bush. It probably started under George W. Bush and the signing of the Patriot Act. Can you imagine just for a moment in Donald Trump's most extreme, when he really wants to go on his revenge tour? Because, you know, a lot of people in the media didn't like the Donald Trump. They didn't like him. They said very negative things about him. Most of the people on MSNBC, they're still saying very negative things about Donald Trump and other members of the news media. Maybe even here locally in Milwaukee, there are people that said negative things about Donald Trump. He will have the unfettered and unchecked ability to surveil anyone who ever says anything negative about him. So the FBI having files on individuals, what can you do about that? That's really nothing to panic about. How the Trump administration under Kash Patel, this is what I want you to be concerned about. How the Trump administration under the new leader of the FBI, Kash Patel, can weaponize and then find ways to further surveil you and charge you and hold you in federal prison without any recourse is what we should be afraid of. So this is why I'm considering very strongly filing the little request. I got the little form right here. You send a little request to the FBI. You can do it digitally as well. You got to upload a couple of documents or whatever and what have you, just to see what my FBI file looks like going into the Trump administration. Because Trump is way more mad now than he was in 2016. In 2016, he was just, fake news and Hillary Clinton's an idiot and build the wall. That's what he was on in 2016. He's on something different now. He's pledged revenge. He's pledged revenge on the people that investigated his activity for his classified documents involvement, for his involvement in January 6th. He has said publicly in an interview with Kristen Welker, who was the moderator of Meet the Press, that the people that investigated him, members of Congress, Adam Schiff, Liz Cheney, and others, should be jailed. So you know they have FBI files. But how the Trump administration may be able to weaponize those files is something we all should be concerned about. And this surveillance often takes place in secret with little to no oversight by the courts, by legislatures, or even by the public. The American Civil Liberties Union is dedicated to uncovering this secret surveillance network so Americans can protect their rights and demand accountability from these law enforcement and intelligence agencies and from their elected representatives. The fear of terrorism has led to a whole new era of overzealous police intelligence activities directed by the leaders of the FBI. And so often in the past against political activists, racial and religious minorities, and immigrants. This new surveillance activity is not directed solely at suspected terrorists and criminals. It's directed at all of us. Increasingly, the government is engaged in suspicionless surveillance that vacuums up and tracks sensitive information about innocent people. The erosion of reasonable restrictions on government power to collect people's personal information is putting the privacy and free speech rights of all Americans at risk. The American Civil Liberties Union and its affiliates across the country have uncovered and reported on many aspects of this growing domestic surveillance activity over the last several years. Their updated Spy Files website combines the information the ACLU, has collected from Freedom of Information Act requests, ACLU lawsuits, and reports and news accounts so that members of the public can begin to get a comprehensive view of how these networked intelligence activities threaten their very civil liberties. The FBI, unaccountable national security surveillance. And remember, this is prior to Trump's second term. The FBI is essentially unchecked. He is going to further erode the common decency, if there is any that even exists in the FBI. And just by me saying that, they probably opened up a new file. Well, hell, since they already got a file on me, I might as well make it as thick as I possibly can. As the nation's predominant law enforcement agency, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, has robust powers to peer into the lives of American citizens. But the FBI claims even broader authorities when acting in the nebulous realm of, quote, domestic intelligence, where its actions are largely hidden from public view, and the procedural checks and balances that apply in criminal investigations are non-existent. The ACLU has exposed FBI abuse of this investigative authority through Freedom of Information Act lawsuits against FBI Joint Terrorism Task Forces, the FBI's, quote, racial and ethnic mapping program, and the FBI E-Guardian suspicious activity reporting program. What is this racial and ethnic mapping? What is this? That's a new one. I ain't never heard of that before. Let me see. How come they won't let me look at it? Oh, here we go. Everybody relax. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is collecting racial and ethnic information and mapping American communities around the country based on stereotypes about the groups that commit different types of crimes. You gotta be kidding me. Nationwide, the FBI is gathering reports on innocent Americans' so-called suspicious activity and sharing it with unknown numbers of federal, state, and local government agencies. Let's see what else. In the decade since September 11th, long-standing safeguards on the FBI's investigative and intelligence collection activities have been erased, allowing it to engage in racial and ethnic profiling and to initiate intrusive investigations with little or no suspicion of wrongdoing. Where's some more racial stuff? Unleashed and unaccountable. Shortly after James Comey was sworn in to lead the FBI in September of 2013, the ACLU published Unleashed and Unaccountable, the FBI's unchecked abuse of authority. This report documents the extraordinary expansions of FBI power since 2001. This is probably what Trump was talking about when he was talking about the deep state. In fact, I know this is what he was talking about. It's all fun and games until the deep state comes after you. I bet Tory Lowe's file is real big. I bet his is probably thicker than mine. And you ain't gonna hear me say that Tory Lowe has anything thicker than mine, except his FBI file. I just want to put that out there. Just saying. As our nation's predominant law enforcement agency, the FBI should be tracking true threats, not wasting resources and inappropriately mapping American communities on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, or religion. Law enforcement programs based on evidence and fact are more effective than a system based on racial stereotypes or mass suspicion. Well, they don't give any real details of it. All right, I'm going to take a break. Come back. I'm going to read some of your text messages at 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. How do you feel that the FBI is spying on you and that some of your cell phone providers are routinely turning over information to federal authorities when asked, and you're none the wiser? Not to mention applications like TikTok that have an unprecedented amount of access to the insides of your cell phone and all its contents. And some of y'all be sending naughty pictures. Some of y'all be sending eggplant pics. Rick, you ever sent an eggplant pic? Yes, you have. Say it on the air. No, you ain't going to say that on the air, are you? Rick said he be sending eggplant pics, and then he accidentally sent one to his auntie. He said he ain't mean it.
I didn't say that.
You didn't?
No.
You didn't say that you accidentally?
No.
Now your auntie.
To your auntie.
Your auntie looks funny. Looks at you funny at Thanksgiving.
And I sent one to your gal.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. I sent one too.
Yeah.
Except when I send an eggplant pic, it takes two screens. You need two cell phones to look at it. You need two.
And that's why Miss Shaq be hitting on you. That's what you get.
Miss Shaq just.
And what's the other one? Linda?
Linda and Miss Shaq are the same person, Rick.
Oh, they are? Okay. Well, yeah, that's why you be getting hit on. Because you be doing stuff like that.
I get hit on because I'm worthy of it.
Oh, God.
You know what? I asked a question in my Facebook group.
What was the question?
If men have relationship goals.
That's actually a good question.
Do you have relationship goals? All women do, unquestionably. And sometimes they tell you, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you find out when you're not a part of her relationship goals. But do men have relationship goals? So I want y'all to think about that, because I think the only person that answered it was like Tony Smith.
Do you have relationship goals? I think you've been single for long enough to the point where it's just like, it is what it is. If it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't.
That's not how I look at relationships. I don't look at relationships. My relationship viewpoint is complicated, and whenever I explain it, people can't listen to it objectively. They compare it to their idea of relationships. Women in particular, when women hear my perspective on relationships, they have no choice but to get like personally offended, which is crazy, because the women that get offended by my own perspective, my view of relationships, are women I would never be in a relationship with anyway, which just blows my mind. You know what I'm saying?
So what is your perspective on relationships when it comes to Sherwin's relationship?
It's complicated. Maybe I'll explain it on the other side.
Okay.
But there's a lot involved in it. And all I'm going to do is just get a bunch of women mad. So, but whatever. Might as well add that to my FBI file, too. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win. And how many games? 6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The MPS City Conference basketball season is starting to heat up, and we are bringing you all the live hoops action right here on 101.7 The Truth. It's Ladies' Night. Tune in Tuesday as the Milwaukee Hamilton Wildcats host Milwaukee School of Languages Hawks. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. City Conference basketball is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS Proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
phone number is 833-212-1017. 833-212-1017. I want to read some of these comments. I don't want to fall into the trap of talking about my perspective on relationships because everybody going to get mad.
I still want to know.
I think men...
You make people mad every day, Sherwin, so what's new today?
That ain't my problem.
Exactly.
Those are people that are... If you don't know how to regulate your emotions, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's a you thing.
Ditto.
Saying.
So explain your perspective.
No! I got to read messages first. Let me say this, though. Men are... You're kind of ruining the game, fellas. When you buy a woman stuff that's not... You're not involved with her. Like, you're trying to convince her by showering her with gifts and luxuries that she didn't earn. So you're ruining everything for the rest of us. But here's what that really shows. Those are usually men that grew up in households where their parents, more likely their mother, didn't let him be himself as a little boy. Or he grew up in a household where his mother's love was inconsistent, where he had to earn his mother's love. Like, love was something that you had to, like, work for. You had to be a good boy, and you had to do all of these things. You got to follow, like, this trajectory in order for mommy to love you. Or kids that grew up in homes where there was no affection, men sometimes internalize that. It was, I'm just going to spend a bunch of money on this woman. Like, I'm going to earn her love because they didn't get a foundation that love as a child should be unconditional. They weren't hugged enough. They weren't shown affection. They weren't encouraged. They weren't told that they were loved. And so they internalize that and they get out in the real world and like, well, I got to do something to show a woman that I love her with money and material goods. You don't shower somebody with material goods that has not earned it. Like, what are they doing for you? Like, that's just basic common sense. Because women don't do that for us, right? Why is it that we as men have to use financial wherewithal to earn a woman's love, trust, and respect, but she doesn't have to do any of that for us? Like, and here's the thing, women are more competitive. And I say women are more competitive because there are so few men that are worth women marrying. Sometimes women will brag, but, oh, I can go get another man. Yeah, I'm sure you can go get another man, but that's like me saying, oh, I can go get another job, but all the other jobs pay minimum wage. Yes, of course, men want to have sex with you. They don't want to marry you. They don't want to be with you. So when women say, oh, I got a whole bunch of other men, you don't want any of those men. So that's not any kind of a flex by saying you got a whole bunch of men. Those are men you don't even want. So why would you even count them as some kind of feather in your cap? But the really screwed up part, though, is that when men, and then they try to shame other men, like, oh, you're cheap if you don't take a woman out and get her hair done and get her nails done. That's her hair. I'm not wearing her hair. Hell no. Now, here's what I have noticed. Fellas, have you ever had this happen to you? You ever have a woman ask you what your favorite color is? You ever have, she'll ask you sometimes. It's always a method to their madness, is it not? They'll ask you what your favorite color is, and next time you see them, they will pay for their nails to get their nails done in your favorite color, or they will wear an outfit that is your favorite color. Then you got yourself a winner. Got yourself a keeper right there. But men that grew up in homes that were devoid of love or had inconsistent love grow up to be men that rationalize and internalize having to spend money on a woman to earn her love. That's stupid, and that's materialistic, and you're going to lose every single time. Because then once you, quote unquote, have her and you think you can stop spending money on her, no, she's always going to expect it. Let me read some text messages before y'all get too mad at me. Armour says, so if we have them, why are they not using these for revenue infractions? Armour, can you be a little bit more specific? Armour says, so if we have them, why are they not using these for revenue infractions? Why is who not using? And what are these? Oh, Armour said a comment before that. All right, you mentioned that there are more and more cameras at red lights. Are they used to issue tickets? A few years ago, I did a rolling stop in Carroll Stream, Illinois, and received a ticket in the mail. a little over $100. The ticket had a link. I could go and see my car in action. The red light cam ticket, however, did not affect my insurance like I thought it would. Well, when did you get the ticket? Sometimes it takes like 6 months for your insurance rates to be impacted by the ticket. And here's the other thing. I don't know if all of the cameras that I see above traffic lights are red light cameras. It could be just surveillance. I know that there was a conversation about how many red light cameras the city could afford at the time. Because it's a whole, you need a whole nother, Department of Information Technology to activate the red light cameras, to store the data, to match it up with DOT records. It's an expense. But just because you see a camera somewhere in public, even above streetlights, you'll see cameras. That does not mean that they are, quote unquote, capturing crime. They could be just general surveillance. So I'm not sure. And also, I'm sure there are some people that have received tickets via red light cameras in the city of Milwaukee. Marcus says quite a bit. I answered one of his questions already. Sherwin, you got friends who've been indicted. Sherwin got dope boy friends. Oh, don't we all? Each and every one of y'all know somebody that's been indicted before. That's not just me. And what people do, I know that you get judged by the company you keep, but I don't judge people. As long as they're not including me in it, and they don't. I can't keep tabs on all my friends' activities. I know that when we kick it and we're hanging out, we're having a good time. Ain't nobody doing nothing illegal. Now, what they do in their spare time, that ain't got nothing to do with me. What do you mean? Ricky said I judge people every day. Nah, I don't judge. I judge some people. Some people deserve to be judged. The only people that I give the benefit of the doubt to are people that I know and that I trust. Everybody else is kind of suspicious to me. Because people got sinister motives. Everybody's trying to get over on somebody. Everybody is super competitive. People will stab you in the back in a second. Especially in this line of work, media is extremely cutthroat. Big time. You always got to watch your background here. Just saying. That goes for you too, Ricky. Just saying. We do a better job of recycling producers around here than the city of Milwaukee does with aluminum cans. I'm just saying. You never know. Jason says those aren't red light cameras. They are to see if a car is sitting at the light to cycle the system. Are they, Jason? I thought they used those pressure pads. You know how if you're at a left turn signal lane, you see these big outline squares that are not indentations, but they're outline squares that are by the red lights. I'll grab the telephone. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm doing good. This is the town, I'm assuming.
Yeah, this is the town.
Do you have a question or a comment?
I got both, actually.
Okay.
Sir.
All right.
First off, the question is for the Democrats after Trump got elected, is like this the plan that y'all feel like y'all going with, and that plan is to show America how messed up Donald Trump is, and have little action, because y'all guys can't do any action because he has all the levers of government. Because I see all the Democrats that I hear around media or whatnot, it's like they seeming like, okay, he did this, he did this, he did this. And my problem with that plan is that America already knows what kind of guy this person is, and America already made their choice. So, to show the people, okay, hey, this guy's a criminal. Well, people already know that. In fact, I think most of America thinks that both the Democrats and the Republicans are criminals, whether it may be true or not. I just think that's the that's the frame of they making the story.
So I think you were looking at the previous. I got to make a distinction here. So the Democrats' plan is not. It was to show that Donald Trump is unfit for office, and they did that a variety of different ways. But the Democrats' actual plan is to give people money so that they can buy a house. The Democrats' actual plan is to give minority entrepreneurs $50,000 to start a business. The Democrats' actual plan is to remove medical debt from somebody's credit report, which Joe Biden has done. The Democrats' actual plan is to forgive student debt. Like, that's what the actual plan of the policymakers are. You're looking at what they said during a campaign. That campaign is done. That campaign is dead, doesn't exist anymore. It did not work. You are correct.
No,
don't confuse the Democrats' actual plan. The plan is to give middle-class taxpayers a tax break. The plan is to stop corporations from price gouging us. That's what the actual plan is.
Okay. I mean, how? I mean, you this is what you done done. This is what you done. You know, that's over with.
What I done?
We can't get fat off what we ate yesterday. No, I'm saying the things that you just said Biden has done.
No.
But now
So Joe Biden is gone. Those things that I said are still going to be on the Democratic Party's agenda to favor working class people, to favor people who are of lower income. The Democrats' plan is to raise the minimum wage. The Democrats' plan is to maintain organized labor strength when it comes to people being able to form unions. That's the Democrats' plan. This is not just stuff. You can't look at the Democratic Party as just what Joe Biden did. The party itself is enduring, and they will have policy ideas that they believe will better serve the American people. So that's irrespective of Donald Trump and irrespective of everything else. That is what the Democrats actually set forth to do.
I want to push back on that a little bit, because like how can just a little bit, because like how can y'all say that, but then when y'all was doing the election, y'all didn't even get the biggest
Why are you saying y'all
the
like
biggest
I'm
union
the
was
Democrat?
Like, because let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you exactly why. If you want to ask a question, let me answer it for you. Because I spoke to you before.
Okay.
I spoke to you before on the show, and I asked you like, well, every time when I hear you, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like when you talk, I'm thinking that's the Democratic Party. Maybe not all the way, maybe not 100%, but like you're a Democrat.
Yes.
That's a party you run with. So when you talk through the airwaves, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, these are not probably all, but these are some of the Democratic talking points and agendas that they want to bring out, and that's cool.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is like, okay, you say unions, y'all didn't even get the unions. You know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't get all the unions. If y'all would have got all the unions,
the majority
y'all
of
probably would've won.
organized labor. No, there's a whole bunch of factors why Kamala Harris didn't win. The country just shifted back toward Trump. What I just explained to you, which whether you get it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, is the party platform of the Democrats. But above me being a Democrat, I'm an American first. And the things that I just listed are only going to be enacted or promoted or supported by one political party. So when it comes to political party, I literally don't have a choice as an American because I want all of those things to come to fruition. So we'll just leave that there because I'm not going back and forth with someone that doesn't really understand common sense, nor am I here to speak on behalf of all of the Democrats. I just laid out what a reasonable policy agenda is that I believe the majority of people in this country should be supporting. Here's the problem. Donald Trump infused xenophobia and racism and took advantage of people's economic anxiety to get people to forego their political common sense and vote to, quote unquote, close the border from Mexicans. When all of those things that I listed are still on the forefront of the Democrats' agenda, problem is we are very easily distracted by our own hate and our bigotry. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, get ready to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community as we host our first annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be a Truth family party where we will celebrate the unsung heroes of our community and we roll out the red carpet for those making a positive impact every day. Tickets are selling fast, so go to 1017thetruth.com today to make sure you do not miss out on the biggest celebration in Milwaukee. Tickets are only $25 and includes free food, free drinks, and free free truth giveaways. Don't miss an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to buy your tickets to our Truth Community Awards. That is 1017thetruth.com to secure your spot for a night of celebrating the excellence of our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer. Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, mama said the way you move gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove.
Our phone number is 833-212-1017. 833-212-101.7. I guess you don't dial the point. I probably should read some of these YouTube comments, but y'all move too quickly for me. I see there's a couple of hit dogs hollering in the text messages line. I'm not going to acknowledge any of those. The Town says, I like how you didn't answer the question, then knock the person. The Town, your questions are nonsensical. I'll answer it, and you just want to keep on going to argue for argue's sake. You talked about the Democrats' plan being what did not work in the most recent presidential campaign. That is over. When I say that is over, the things that they used to try and defeat Trump, all the surrogates, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, everything they did during the campaign did not work. So none of those things will ever be used again. So that has been put to rest. That campaign has already had its funeral. What I explained to you is what I thought you didn't understand. What the Democrats' plan is, the plan for a party is actual policy. Unless you are confusing politics and party, which happens often. The plan of the party is to create policies that put middle class, working class, and poor people above those who are in the 1% who are wealthy. Everything from tax policy to stopping corporations from gouging us when it comes to prices, raising the minimum wage, making housing more affordable by increasing the housing stock in America. All of those are the things that remain untouched moving forward, because those are the things that Americans actually really need and say that they need. Problem is, we can be distracted by things like race, because if an American feels insecure about their job, instead of the government doing a better job of providing, tax incentives and working with the private sector to create more jobs, Trump can come in and say it's the Mexicans' fault. And it distracts people that don't really know how the game is being played. But basically, Americans are easy to lie to when we're vulnerable. When we're vulnerable, we will believe anything. When we are hurting, you can fill our hearts and minds with hate, and we will swallow it up. All right, LT says, my relationship goal is to stay out of a relationship. It's going to be tough because I'm getting a puppy in a few months and they going to come running. I will not be in a relationship with an American woman of any color because they ain't right. Passport ready, LT says. I suppose if I can give an analogy, there is a lot of work that a man does to make himself attractive to women. Now, I want people to listen to this objectively without throwing in your emotions and your feelings. I need you guys to listen and try and understand this objectively. And a lot of that work is not seen by women. Women don't have to do anything. Women just have to show up and men will hit on them. But for a man to be desired by a wonderful woman, he's got to do a lot of work. He's got to have not just a job, but a career. He's got to have a stellar reputation. He needs to be financially stable. He probably needs to own a home. He needs to be mature. He needs to be handsome. He needs to be in shape. He needs to have all of these things that he has to work on for years. It's years and years and years of preparation. That is why men, as they get older, they certainly become much more distinguished, and they are much more attractive to larger varieties of women as they do all of this work. But this work is never seen by women. What women see when they say, oh, I'd love to be with him, or oh, I'd consider dating him, what women see is the finished product of all of the work that he has done for many, many years. Even in his approach, he's been denied and rejected and disrespected hundreds or thousands of times before he can get his approach right and before he can get that level of confidence. There's a lot of work. Okay? Women are the reward for all of the work that he has done. His education, his career, his finances, his real estate, his wit, his character, his charm, his maturity. He has done all of the work. And then once he does all of this work, his prize is that he may have a plethora of women that he gets to choose from. It's almost like the woman is the paycheck. You go to work and you put in your hours. Some of you work very, very hard. You work very long hours and it's grueling. And your reward, hopefully, is your paycheck. With men, we put in all of this work growing and maturing, becoming more stable, being financially independent, all of those things. That's the work. Once we do all the work, the reward is the woman. So when I asked the question on Facebook, do men have relationship goals? Just getting the woman, like that's it. That's the goal. She's the money. We put in all of this work. We put in all of this labor to make ourselves be more attractive to a plethora of women. And when we can obtain them and go out with them with ease and ask them out and they say yes, that's the prize. I think women see it differently. They don't have to put in that kind of work. They just want the paycheck. So the perspectives are very, very different. And so what is a man's relationship goal? To get as much money as he possibly can, just like it's a professional goal. So, and I guess the other opposite perspective is, for us, being with an incredible woman, if that's even what a man wants to do, or having his options when it comes to women, that is his pay for all of the work that he has put in on himself. Growing, learning, maturing, having a stellar reputation, having his finances right, going to the gym and working out so he looks attractive, the maintenance that he does to maintain himself, all of that work he does to then have the woman, right? And then that's the goal. She's the goal. Once he has her, oh, wow, all the work that I did paid off. Whereas with some women, I'm not going to do a generalization here, with some women, their relationship is the means to an end. So when the woman gets the relationship, let's say she gets married. She decides, oh, I'm going to marry this guy. He's going to propose. I'm going to accept. Now that's her ticket to more financial freedom, or buying a house, or having the status of being in a relationship or having the status of being married, right? So she gets the relationship in order to accomplish her goals. With us, the woman herself is the goal because of all of the work that we do that is unseen to get the woman. She begins with the relationship and then she has goals. And then what happens over time is so imagine if you got a job, right? It's an okay job, it ain't the best job. It's okay, you make decent money, benefits are okay. You could always go for something better. And so imagine if a recruiter calls you and says, hey, we're going to pay you twice as much money. We're going to give you way better benefits. We're going to give you a better retirement package. We're going to give you twice as much vacation time as you have right now. Who's going to turn that down? So a woman who's working at a job where the pay is okay and the salary is okay, she's getting by. It's not the best. The benefits are decent. That's the relationship that woman is in currently. But if another man who offers a better salary, more benefits, a better 401k, because that's going to accomplish her goal is to do as well as she possibly can, whether it be professionally or whether it be relationship-wise. That is why men are always expendable when it comes to women. She will leave you for a man that is a much better offer. And that's not even personal. That's just the objective fact. That is why women file for divorce as often as they do. It's almost like when it comes to men, if I want to look at it in financial terms, and you have some money, you got a little nest egg, fellas. Okay, and you go see a financial advisor. Financial advisor says, you know what, don't put all of your money in one stock. Don't put all your money in Apple. Don't put all your money in Tesla. You gotta diversify, because what if that stock tanks? What if Tesla tanks? What if Amazon tanks? You got all your money in Google. What if Google tanks? Why would a man put all of his investment in one woman when she can leave at any point in time and take his investment and take his money? She can leave at any time. If that phone rings and she gets a better offer, whether it be a job or a man that offers her more, she'd be a fool to stay. And this is why they oftentimes leave. But men don't see that, because for us, getting her was our accomplishment. For her, she has a set of goals that her current relationship or current marriage may not accomplish. And so I don't even fault women when they leave, because that's their perspective on the game. They want to do better. And if they can do better, they absolutely will. I'm going to take a break, come back, continue our conversation. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
101.7 The Truth is now the proud home of Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference basketball. Tune in every week so you don't miss out on the classic rivalry game we all love, the high-flying dunks that leave us in awe, and the memorable moments where Milwaukee basketball legends are born. City Conference basketball on 101.7 The Truth is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
It's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Happy New Year means a lot of rough days ahead for those who suffer from seasonal affective disorder. Plenty of gray, frigid days on the horizon where we all just want to be snugly and warm at home. That's where Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin comes in. Their inviting doors welcome friends and family into a cozy home thanks to Pella's gorgeous, energy-efficient windows, keeping the cold out. Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin showroom today so you can learn the Pella difference and get inspired on making your home more energy efficient and beautiful with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hurry, you only have until January 31st to score Pella's New Year's special. 0% interest for up to 3 years. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
Celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy with the Bucks at Fiserv Forum on Sunday, January 19th. This annual MLK celebration game presented by We Energies honors Dr. King's spirit of community advocacy. Catch the Bucks in action on the court with a special halftime performance, the We Energies Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Speech Contest winner. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit bucks.com/impact.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. A little Richie Havens for y'all today. All right, so I got a couple of comments that I'd like to read. But I can't keep up with I don't even know where to start with the YouTube comments because y'all are just having conversation amongst yourselves. I'd imagine there's probably somebody who is vehemently disagreeing with my previous take on relationships and whatnot. If a man, just look at it from a man's perspective without getting all bent out of shape. If a man does all of this work, just in life to grow and mature and to have a good job, to be financially stable, to be what we expect a good, decent man to be, he does a lot of work. It takes a long time to get there, okay? And what if his reward for doing all of this work that we're telling him he needs to do, he needs to get an education, he needs to get a job, get a career, be really good at that career, have money, know what to do with money, have financial fluency, know how to invest his money, he needs to have real estate, he needs to own a home. Because if you're 54 years old and still renting, I mean, nothing wrong with that, but just, you know, you're better off having a house. And if he's mature and has a great sense of humor, he's worked on his personality, and let's say he exercises, he takes care of his body, and he eats healthy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a lot of work. In fact, it's constant work. And you're going to deal with the rigors of life and stress and everything else. And if he does all of this work and he produces a man that is of value and that is worthy of being essentially with any woman, and if his reward is him having availability to a whole bunch of women, why would he turn any of that reward down? That's like saying, hi, Sherwin, you put in an awful lot of work. You put in a lot of overtime. Here's your overtime pay. Of course I'm going to accept it. Women are not necessarily his motivation for doing so. These are just things that we want good men to do because we hear left and right how horrible men are. And when we say that men are horrible, it's because they're not doing those aforementioned things. Let's talk to T. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
How you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, I just want to say, give my scenario on that. You know, that relationship. You do all that stuff to get the woman, right? You work out, you keep yourself smelling good, you keep yourself in shape, you're dressed to a T, you know, and then a woman does the same thing to get a man. She makes herself presentable and she keeps herself, you know, in shape and does the same thing. The problem comes is when the union, when you come together. And most women, once they get the man, what they'll do is they'll stop. They'll stop, you know, keeping themselves in shape. They'll stop, you know, doing the the things that they used to do to keep you, or the things they used to do to get you, once you get married, it all changes. And the trick that women use, I'm going to just go say this, is I'm going to use the eggs in the basket. Okay. The male usually has eggs in a basket, and the woman puts her eggs in a basket. So they come to the union, both of them got baskets, and they try and, take their eggs and put them together and, make them build the house and everything. But what happens is the woman will say, you know what? We don't need 2 baskets. Why don't you put your eggs into my basket? And the man will say, okay, well, we're together and you're doing all this stuff, and I trust you and I love you. And he says, okay. He start putting all his eggs into her basket. And then as the time goes on and she stops doing the things that she used to do to try and, satisfy you and keep you happy, so I ain't got to do that no more. And the man says, oh, you know what? I like that stuff that you used to do, and you used to do this and you used to do that to make me happy. You don't do that no more. She said, well, I don't got to do it no more because we're married. And the man said, well, that's not fair. That's not fair. Because I like those things that you used to do for me. She said, well, you know what? If you don't like it, you can find somebody else. And the man will say, well, shoot, I'm still in shape. I still look good, smell good. I got money in my pocket. Yeah, well, okay, well, I'm going to find somebody else. That's called the side piece. And then he'll dip off into the side piece area and do what his wife used to make him happy.
You sound like you're speaking from experience, T. Has this happened to you or someone you know?
100% experience.
Are you still married?
Yeah, I'm still married.
Wow!
But let me finish the
Be
story.
careful!
Hold on. Hey, that's why my name T. Hey, and then what's going to happen is, when she finds out, she's going to say, well, you know what? Since you did that, I'm leaving. And you're going to say, what? You leaving? Well, I won't do it no more. I'll be a good boy. But you stopped doing the things you used to do to make me happy. You told me to go find somebody else to make me happy. And I just dipped out for a second. But I'm back. And then she going to say, nah, ain't good enough. I'm out. And he said, the man's going to say this. He's going to say just these exact words. He's going to say, well, I want my eggs back. And she's going to say, what eggs? All the eggs that I put in your basket. I want them eggs back. And she said, what basket? You ain't got no basket. And you're going to be like, damn, I don't got a basket because I threw my basket away. I put all my eggs in your basket. She said, yeah.
T, I got to leave it there. And I got to take a break. But I very much get your point.
Have a good one.
All right, you too. Yeah. Oh, boy, he admitted it. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The Truth app is home for all the Milwaukee Panther content you would want.
He'll dart baseline, and he will tomahawk it home with his right hand.
From conversations on the airwaves.
We're going to defend every board up the floor and every bounce and every pass. And we've got good depth, and you have to have good depth for the way we play.
To game highlights.
And at the top, rises for 3 over Young and buries it.
Find The Roar on the Truth app, Apple, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts to keep up with Panthers hoops. On Friday night, the Panthers look to be victorious as they host conference foe, the Youngstown State Penguins.
Stillwell takes it out of there. Panthers tied at 40 apiece. Folks on a step-through score. 94 feet of Themis Folks to give Milwaukee the lead right back.
Scott Warris has the coverage Friday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was a song that myself and Common wrote. Two brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award-winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with me, Sherwin Hughes. Talked about a variety of things so far. Talked about how the FBI probably has a file on a lot of us, and you do have the legal ability and authority to request the contents of that file, but please use caution, because in helping to identify the file that the FBI may have on you, you have to provide information that you believe is worthy of their surveillance. So if you surrender some information that they did not know about, you might be giving them another reason to surveil you even further. Also come to find out that the FBI profiles racially and ethnically when it comes to religion and other minority categories. So welcome to America. Right now, let's talk to someone who is about as American as anybody I've ever met. Hello, Bob. Bob? Why can I not hear you, Bob? Bob! Ricky, is it us or is it him? Why can't I not hear anything?
It's definitely him. It ain't us.
Bob, I can't hear you. And you better have the damn keyboard because I don't want to hear. And my third point, you ever notice how Bob has a whole bunch of points but never makes one point and he just keeps counting? And my fourth point, the fifth point, Carolyn says, this is Miss Carolyn. Some of your guests, should I be guests? Guests are just a SMH kind of people. If his wife was listening, a woman knows her man's voice. So if there's an agreement, and I don't provide relationship advice because like what works for you and your spouse or your significant other is not going to work for everybody else. And people got to have a respect for that. I hate when people ask a couple of Like, oh, y'all been together for 60 years. What's your secret? The only secret that they can tell you is what works for them and their unique situations and their unique agreements. And married couples will never tell you anything. And here's the thing. What if the secret of somebody being married 50 years is that, yeah, one of them cheated. Yeah, my husband had a side piece. I wasn't, I lost my sexual appetite. I lost my desire. And what if the woman says, yeah, I just didn't want to have sex with him anymore, but I didn't want him to be denied sex. So I let him go and sleep with a girlfriend, or I let him have another woman. Y'all would freak out if you heard that. Y'all would have an absolute fit. So stop asking people what the secret is. You have to have somebody or find somebody whose goals are aligned with yours. Fellas, if your goal is to do all of this work to make yourself a better person, to have money, to save money, to have a house, to have a great job, a great career, be financially stable, and to be mature, and all these other things, if your goal is just to get a pretty woman, then make it known to that woman that that's what your goal is, that she is the prize, she is the reason why you did all of this work to be able to get her. Okay. But if her goal is to get married so that she can have access to money and finances and a house and go on vacations and do all these things with her husband and get the status of being married, they all got to communicate that, because he may think that once he does all this work and he gets the beautiful woman, he proposes and she says yes, he's like, I'm done. This was my goal. This was my end game right here. For her, it might be just the beginning. Now she may want a whole nother life that he had not planned to give her. Because remember, he accomplished his goal. She still has relationship goals that she has yet to accomplish. And if his goals don't line up with hers, that relationship will end. And there's a business aspect to it as well. So if a man makes that decision with the woman he proposes to when they get married, he's got to be very, very careful, because at some point in time, another man can come along that offers more things in line with what her changing relationship goals are. Just like if somebody is employed and they got a decent job, the job is working for right now, and they get a call from a recruiter offering them more time off, better benefits, higher pay, a company car, a black card, then that person will likely take that other offer because it's better. And no hard feelings and no offense to the person that they were with or the current employer that they may have, but they've been like, hey, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice. I got a better offer. Why would you fault somebody for doing that? Especially if she has relationship goals that her current man is no longer meeting. He may not have the same relationship goals as her. For him, just getting her, being with her, dating her, being engaged to her, and marrying her, that was his end game. After that, well, we'll just see what happens after this, because he's accomplished all of his goals. If she has goals above just getting married, then they may have some issues. And then, of course, as the previous caller said, this man who does all this work to get this wonderful woman, this beautiful bride, he does put all of his eggs in her basket. That's right, he loads up. But then she, at any point in time, can take the entire basket with all of the eggs. If you look at it from a business perspective, which I don't think that we do, I think that we look at marriage from like an emotional, romantic love perspective. All that stuff fades. It fades. It's only in the movies where somebody is in the same love. Oh, we met when we were 15 and we fell in love, and now we're 92 and we're still in love. No, you're not. Y'all just tolerated each other. Just realized it was too rough out there to start over. That stuff fades. But that's just natural. In fact, they call it the 7-year itch. 7 years, you start looking around, wondering what's out there. If it was business, your financial advisor would never tell you to put all of your investment in just one stock, because what if that stock drops? Fellas, that's like you putting all of your money, your time, your effort, and your energy into this woman, and at any point in time, she can leave. She's not mandated to stay with you. You would never enter into a business agreement where your partner is incentivized for leaving you high and dry. There can be some incentive if a woman leaves and divorces a man. She may get alimony. She may get child support. She may get all sorts of marital property, like the house, like the cars, half of his 401k. She is incentive, and she gets all that money, okay? And she can go find another man and get married again and do the same thing to him. she is incentivized for leaving. So you got to be very, very careful, gentlemen. Very careful in who you select, because she can leave at any time. Men will tell you this. They have been taken to the cleaners by a woman that they love so much, did everything for her, but her relationship goals changed and he can no longer meet them, so she went and took the better offer. All right, Bob, let's try this again. This doesn't work. I'm hanging up on you again.
All right, Sherwin, I'm a musician critic, and I understand how I sound lousy. I had 2 phones and the 4-minute delay, and I don't want to go into it because it's too deep, and it's a lot. And I could only play at I'm going to play a few notes on the saxophone. On the keyboards, I'm not good enough to play on my own yet. I play to a couple songs, and I jam on there with, playing to a song. But the saxophone, so I just thought I'd bring up my sax because I'm just not quite good enough to play on my own with the keyboard.
Then why was you bragging all last week about you going to play the keyboard? Remember that last week you was talking about playing on the keyboard? Yeah. You got your little keyboard. Now all of a sudden when it's time to play on the keyboard, you ain't good enough to play on the keyboard.
Well, because I thought I could deal with it 3-way on the 3-way, but the 3-way does not work that good from the sounding point. It sounds lousy like I played before when I didn't know I
all right,
sounded
just play the
lousy.
saxophone then.
I'm going to play a few notes, and then you just cut me off.
Yep. No, I'm not. Nope, that was enough for me. Why do I do this? Like, why? I thought that playing the saxophone would be better than his commentary. And that's not just me. A lot of people that listen to this program, I thank you so very much for listening to this program. I am indebted to you. Thank you guys for listening. But a lot of you said, hey, Sherwin, just have Bob play the saxophone again. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And it took a long time to convince him because for months, if not a year, Bob didn't play the saxophone for a long time. Bob didn't play the saxophone at all during 2024, did he? Last time Bob played the saxophone, it was 2023. And y'all said, hey, Sherwin, we would rather hear Bob play the saxophone. I'm a man of the people. I'm here to please the people. Whatever the people want, Sherwin will do. I'm here for the people. Y'all wanted to hear the saxophone. Well, you just got some saxophone. Now I don't want to hear either. Really, I don't want to hear any of that anymore. And his comments are always meandering. His comments meander more than the Colorado River. Okay. I'd rather talk about the FBI surveilling us, actually. Take a break, come back, continue our conversations. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. My show is not changing. There's not going to be a new Sherwin Hughes. I'm not changing time slots. Tori Lowe is still from 1 to 4. Dr. Ken is still going to be from 4 until 6. So all of those things are remaining the same. Can I talk about the lineup or I can't talk about the lineup? Y'all had it on the screensaver earlier. Carrie and Ben are going to be in studio with me in about, 10 minutes or so to talk about, well, the cat's already out of the bag because a lot of people that listened to the morning show also listened to this show. And then the people that listened to the morning show heard the announcement of the new lineup, and all they did was just typed it out in the YouTube chat, so it's not a secret anymore. But for those of you who are listening on the old school terrestrial radio on 101.7 FM, there's going to be an announcement at 11:30 regarding Ben and Carrie and Kyle Wallace. So stay tuned for that. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Happy New Year means a lot of rough days ahead for those who suffer from seasonal affective disorder. Plenty of gray, frigid days on the horizon where we all just want to be snuggly and warm at home. That's where Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin comes in. Their inviting doors welcome friends and family into a cozy home thanks to Pella's gorgeous, energy-efficient windows, keeping the cold out. Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin showroom today so you can learn the Pella difference and get inspired on making your home more energy efficient and beautiful with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hurry, you only have until January 31st to score Pella's New Year's special. 0% interest for up to 3 years. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
Did you know the gap between black and white students in Milwaukee continues to expand and is among the worst in the nation?
Or that the overall learning gap in Milwaukee is nearly twice that of the national average for black students.
Milwaukee, you can do better.
But in charter schools like Milwaukee College Prep, black and Hispanic students have stronger growth than kids at traditional public schools.
That's some really good news.
For nearly 3 decades, Milwaukee College Prep has been redefining what's possible. Give the education all kids deserve. Donate today at mkeprep.com.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, the home of Milwaukee Black Talk, is raising the bar. Tap into The Truth on Monday, January 20th for the debut of our new shows. Get your drop of juice every morning on Jammin' with Juice with Carrie and Ben from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Then from noon until 1 p.m., tune into the debut of Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Jamming with Juice and Truth to Power will bring energy, entertainment, and their authentic truths from a millennial perspective. So do not miss the highly anticipated debut of Jamming with Juice in the morning with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni, and Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on Monday, January 20th at 7 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. The next generation has arrived. I like that. Truth Nation MLK Day is approaching, and we're excited to partner with the YMCA of Metropolitan Milwaukee and the Marcus Performing Arts Center to celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. On Monday, January 20th, our Truth team will kick off the MLK Day celebration with a broadcast of Jammin' with Juice live from the YMCA's 28th annual MLK Junior Breakfast Celebration at Potawatomi from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. The Marcus Performing Arts Center will continue the celebration from 1 until 6 p.m. as the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris will be broadcasting live from the Marcus Performing Arts Center 41st Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday Celebration. Come celebrate the legacy of Dr. King with the award-winning 1017 The Truth all day long. So it looks like Kyle and I are the only ones not broadcasting for MLK Day. That's cool with me. Also, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to give you a chance to enter the Gruber 5K giveaway. So you just stay tuned, and we'll give you an opportunity to win $5,000. I think the next drawing has got to be coming up. Whenever it is, it's soon, and it's going to be on my show. Let's talk to... Hello, Al. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I was going to say happy Monday, but before we go, he or she must know the terms and conditions. I know you brought up relationship goals. For me right now, where relationship goes, just treat me like a hotel bed and get on and get off twice a week, spit in my mouth once a week, and check on me every 2 weeks. And I'm good, and I always cook with cast iron skillets. But as long as he or she knows the terms and conditions, everything will be euphoric. Everything will be distinguished and anointing with that touch. And everybody will be happy, flustered, and sweat out. Well, all you have to do is change the sheets and get ready for a rejuvenating day, because everything was released that night or that morning. Just drink your 2 bottles of water and always take a shower, and everybody will be happy. And also, if you are married, please, if you're married, everything should not be routine. If you start off buying gifts, don't stop, because if you start off buying gifts, you're going to look like a trick and you're just paying for the cat. But once you get this man or you get this woman, you have to keep everything euphoric. And your only job is to drain all those juices. Because if you don't, somebody else's will. He or she must know the terms and conditions. Just as well as you get on, your job is to make sure they get off. Because if you don't, somebody gonna come tapping on them yams, tim bam bams. And them yams is gonna be busted with nothing but alligator syrup. So I just wanted to share that information. But remember, he or she must know the terms and conditions. And if you get sloppy and it get routine, don't get mad when that bow-legged dude around the corner comes in and get all of it. Have a good one. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Have a good Monday, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, Al. So, Al gives his perspective on things. We have another telephone call, do we? Who is this? Rick on line 2. Who's Paige? Okay. Hello, Paige.
Hello, your cat.
Huh?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Sherwin. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? What did you say you hear?
I'm fine. I hear a bunch of cats.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know what the cats are. I hear a bunch of cats. But anyway.
Okay, then.
So I really called to talk about, like, last week you were the gentleman that you had on in regards to the aldermen, the streets and the bump outs and all of the things that they're doing. And I wanted to mention to him that I really don't think that they're doing enough to identify a lot of these. And I was wondering if you said anything to him about that when you were speaking to him, because you did mention that you yourself ran into a speed bump that you didn't know was there.
Correct, but that was my fault because I wasn't paying attention. So I can't fault the speed bump nor the residents that wanted and paid for that speed bump to be on their block. It's not their fault. That's my fault.
Well, there's one on 6th Street, like right off of Walnut. I don't know how long that's been there, but I haven't been that way in a long time. And I almost ran over that thing full speed and not knowing that it was there. And I didn't see anything. Well, I did see signs, but it didn't say like it was a bump. It didn't say it was a speed bump. It just had like the yellow sign with the black flashes.
Yeah.
And so, they're making up all these new signs, but, old drivers don't know what that is. And I know new drivers don't know because half of them don't have a license. So, I don't know how they expect people to know what these new rules are. Yeah. But also, though, I was just calling because, I heard Al's comment, and I must say, do you just shut the radio off when Al starts talking? Because
do I shut the radio off?
Yeah. Do you just shut your ear headphones off when he's talking?
I listen.
Do you hear what he said?
I heard him. Yeah, I heard.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, because that was very explicit, and I was just kind of driving with my mouth hanging open, and I just wonder if it was just me. Yeah,
probably not. He speaks his truth, though. That's his particular truth, and he wanted to chime in on relationship goals. And what Al did is he told those who are listening his relationship goals. Now, for most of us, our relationship goals are not the same as his, which is perfectly fine because all of us have different experiences and we have different wants and needs. He just shared with us his relationship goals. Your goals may vary. What are your relationship goals, Paige?
My relationship goals? Well, currently I think that, to be in a relationship, there has to be a committed effort to compromise and also to just, enjoy things that you might not want to do, but just do them because that person does. So, not necessarily that you enjoy the thing that you're doing, but you enjoy that person is happy doing it with you,
Absolutely.
I would like a nice, he'd be financially stable. He doesn't have to be rich. I have my own money. But I would prefer that, he's responsible because if I'm going to turn over my, my independence, I would like it to be with someone who is responsible, that I can trust that's going to make the decisions that are right for us. So
Paige, you can still keep your independence. You don't have to give your independence up. You still can do what Paige wants to do.
I know that, but I mean, certain, if we buy a house together, or I move into his house, I don't want him to feel like, I shouldn't be doing this or I shouldn't be doing that because it's his house. No, it's our house.
That's right.
So, no, I just want to be able to do that freely. So, yeah.
Paige, have you ever cheated?
Have I cheated? Yes.
You did? Why? A couple times. You bad girl. You. Why did you cheat, Paige?
One, because my boyfriend was cheating on me, but neither one of us wanted to break up. So, but neither one of us wanted to be honest about the relationship either. So he went behind my back, and I knew it, and so I went behind his back, and I don't know if he knew it, but it was just like that it brought peace to me. My mind wasn't focused on him.
You didn't feel guilty.
So, I did because it's not me. It's not my character. But I got over it. I did because I just felt like it brought peace to me that I wasn't thinking about what he was doing.
Okay, sure. Are you guys still together?
No. No.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right.
Have a great day now.
Oh, you too, Paige.
Okay.
All right then now. Okay then. All right. You know how rare that is for a woman to admit that she cheated? That's extremely, and I respect her for admitting that because most women, they simply won't because they want to maintain this image of virginal purity. I have never cheated. You liars! You know what I respect in women now that I don't think I really cared about prior to? Like now as I'm getting up there in age, I look for different things. A woman who can apologize when she's wrong. You know how rare that is? It's rare. You would think that it's not rare. if a woman does something where she is clearly in the wrong, apologize. Just, hey, I'm sorry, I messed up. It's a normal thing for people to do when you're in the wrong. But all too often, what I have dealt with, and your experiences probably will vary, is that if a woman does something that's worthy of an apology, she'll blame me for why she did what she did. Take zero accountability. And here's the thing, it might not even be my fault. Just apologize, because if you don't apologize, you can never expect forgiveness. Like, I don't know why that's so hard. We apologize as men, and sometimes our apologies are like pardons. We just preemptively apologize. Sometimes we just wake up in the morning and just say we're sorry for stuff that we might do or stuff that we did and forgot about that she may remember. Apologize. That is such an endearing quality when a woman can say, and I had a woman apologize to me recently, and it was like a breath of fresh air. She's like, hey, Sherwin, I'm really sorry. And it was minor. It was a minor thing, but it was still worthy of an apology. I was like, oh my goodness. Protect this woman at all costs. They just do not like to apologize. Most of them don't say they're sorry. Rick, do women apologize to you? Oh, no, they don't apologize to you. Why would they?
Actually, they do.
Oh,
when they do, it's just kind of a turn on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hope things are going well for you and your wives. Or whatever it is you got.
No, you the one with the wives, player.
No, why would I do that?
Mr. She sent me a drink because she seen me with her. Oh, did I do that? I did that.
I talked about it on the air, so I was.
Yeah, that's why I said you the player. You the one with the wives. You got it like that. You got the juice.
I just respected the fact that she didn't get bent out of shape, that she saw me with somebody else.
And you went home and you tapped that, right?
No, ain't nobody tapping nothing.
Oh, you ain't tapping no skins? You ain't bumping uglies?
Ain't nobody. First of all, ain't nothing on me ugly. Number one. Number two, I was just hanging out with my ex-girlfriend because she and I are still cool. The relationship didn't work out, but we're just, we wanted to catch up. Like, hey, I ain't seen you for a while. How you doing?
So you speaking French. All right.
She and I decided that we were going to go and just, meet up for happy hour. Wasn't no big deal about that. And when we went for happy hour, I happened to see Scorpio.
What's Scorpio name?
Oh, no. I told you she's one of Denise's friends, right? I told y'all that. Zach over here Zach don't know. Zach don't know who Scorpio is.
That's her name.
No, it ain't. Zach don't know.
Okay.
Can you play the Gruber thing now so we can give these people a chance to win this 5 stacks?
One call, that's all.
Now's your chance to be our one call, that's all Gruber $5,000 giveaway entry for the day. That's right. You'll be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. We'll take caller number 8 at 833-212-1017. Call number 8 at 833-212-1017. You'll be entered to win the $5,000 giveaway from the award-winning 1017 The Truth and Gruber Law Offices. Again, caller number 8 at 833-212-1017. And remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. You can visit them online at gruber-law.com. And for official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. Caller number 8. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, get ready to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community as we host our first annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be a Truth family party where we will celebrate the unsung heroes of our community and we roll out the red carpet for those making a positive impact every day. Tickets are selling fast, so go to 1017thetruth.com today to make sure you do not miss out on the biggest celebration in Milwaukee. Tickets are only $25 and includes free food, free drinks, and free Truth giveaways. Don't miss an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to buy your tickets to our Truth Community Awards. That is 1017thetruth.com to secure your spot for a night of celebrating the excellence of our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Tory Lowe with his truth.
As I reflect on my journey, I'm reminded of God's blessings and guidance. I've been fortunate enough to accomplish some remarkable feats, including walking 750 miles from Milwaukee to Washington, D.C. in honor of the Civil Rights Movement. I also walked against violence from Milwaukee to Chicago and back for 7 consecutive years. My feet are still recovering, but my spirit remains strong. I've been privileged to advocate for victims of police brutality, search for missing persons, and participate in numerous protests. Last year, I was honored to visit the White House with my colleagues from 1017 The Truth to discuss pressing issues in the Black community with the Biden administration. Throughout my broadcasting career, I've received several first-place Wisconsin Broadcast Association awards for the Tory Lowe Show. I've also had the opportunity to be part of ESPN 94.5's Packer pregame show at Lambeau Field. As I look back, I am grateful for the incredible journey. Salute to my brothers and sisters on the front lines. And thank you for your tireless efforts and dedication. We're in this together, and I could not have done anything without the love and support of my community. I want to remind you to keep pushing forward, stay vigilant, keep your head on a swivel, green don't always mean go, and look both ways before you cross the street. And always look out for one another. In 2025, we still got a lot of work to do. God bless you, and I love you.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Tory Lowe Show weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. In studio, we got Carrie, Ben, Kyle Wallace, talking about the new lineup that's going to start 1 week from today on January 20th. Well, welcome everybody to my show. This is the first time I think I've had all y'all in my show at the same time.
Yeah, I've never been in the studio with you before.
Right. Oh, for real?
Nah, I just produced.
Huh. Welcome to my sacred space. Kyle, I want to start with you. Congratulations, brother. You got your own show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm excited.
We are the congratulations noises.
Yeah, I know, right? I really am excited to be able to follow behind you, right? Like the great Sherwin Hughes, who has a phenomenal audience, and you preach every single day that he comes on air. So I'm excited to be able to follow behind Sherwin and get everybody ready for Tory Lowe with all the great thoughts and my authentic perspective on so many things that impact us globally, nationally, but also most importantly, right here locally in Milwaukee.
Give us an idea. Kyle, give us an idea of the kinds of topics you're going to delve into on Truth to Power.
Yeah, so on a day like today, right, like the Sade Robertson memorial they're trying to build for $7,000 with taxpayer dollars, like that's something that I would talk about, right? Because personally, I mean, I feel like it's a tragic case, and I definitely think there should be something done, but is that something that we need to be putting our tax dollars to? So conversations like that, or talking about, Milwaukee public schools, and I know there's a lot of negative things we could talk about, but I had a conversation with Willie Jew from MPS Foundation.
Shout out Willie.
Yeah, and they talking about, they pay for 400 kids to go to D.C., right, to do a D.C. trip, right? That's like, exactly. So talking about those things that we don't know, or, I know I sent Sherwin a text this morning. We got a text message from the Democrats, or somebody I knew who worked for the Democrats, talking about Ben Wickler trying to run for a position.
The chair of the Democratic
DNC,
National
right?
Committee, that's right.
How would that, I mean, I know it's, he's from Wisconsin, so how could that potentially impact us here locally, having somebody there with power? Would that have any influence here when we, if we get a president elected, could he have influence to make sure the dollars keep coming to our community? So just things like that. But then, of course, any of the pop culture I'm going to talk about as well.
Kyle, good luck to you, sir. I look forward to listening to your program because I have my radio dial in my vehicle set to 1017 The Truth. So when I leave here, the noon to 1 p.m. show is the show that I listen to. It's when I go to my meetings and I go to things I got to do after my show.
So I can't say nothing bad about you.
Say whatever you want to. Just remember, my show will be on the next day for 3 hours compared to your one. But all kidding aside, sir, congratulations, man. We're real proud of you and glad to have you back on the air.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Sherwin. Thank you for everything you've done for our community.
I should do a show talking about snow bunnies.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
I love all women.
Whoa, never
I
mind.
love some more than others.
I'm going to be quiet.
I'm just saying, you can't love all of them now. Ben, Carrie.
Oh, what's up?
Congratulations, Jamming with Juice. You guys have got the coveted 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. spot. Milwaukee is going to wake up with you. You're going to get our community going with the information that they need to hear to start their days. Let me just say on a personal note, I am proud of you both. I've gotten to know you both very, very well, and I've seen your explosive growth. And now the rest of the world will be able to hear that growth and that talent Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Give him a sound effect for that. Give him a something. Give him the yam, yam, bam, bams, and pam. Give him something. All right.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Carrie.
Yes.
What can we expect to hear? Now, again, when I'm driving into work, I will listen, and I do listen to the morning show because clearly my car radio dial never leaves 101.7. What can I expect to hear daily for 2 hours, Monday through Friday, on Jammin' with Juice?
Well, like you said, you're always in your car after your show and you hear what we be having popping currently, right? I think that we are going to do that same thing. You know, we are going to be giving y'all the juice, bringing y'all the energy, having some fun. I think that's very important because, you know, for a morning show, we got to get y'all ready to go to work, okay? We got to get y'all in the right mindset, okay? Man, tackle your day, you know what I'm saying? So it's still going to be the same laughs that you guys get now from 12 to 1, but obviously we're going to be able to have more time to dive deeper into a lot of the topics that we currently discuss.
Correct. I second everything that Noni Juice just said. We'll get you guys ready for your morning, get you ready to work your glutes out when you go to the gym, get ready for you to, I hope everybody wakes up and just brushes their teeth listening to Jam with Juice. I hope people are eating their breakfast listening to Jam with Juice. I just can't wait to just get Milwaukee, and not even just Milwaukee, but the rest of the world started and ready for their day, you know. And honestly, to me, for real, it's just such an honor to be a part of a morning show. I said this on Truth Be Told earlier today, just all the other morning shows that I've listened to, whether it was MK in the Morning with Melanie Riggs and Joe Brown and DZ, to, you know, it being transforming and evolving into Truth Be Told with DT and Telly and being their producer. It's honestly a full circle moment for myself. I was once the morning show producer, but now I'm the morning show host. So with that being said, I just can't wait to, you know, become an evolutionary thought from those previous radio shows into what we got going on now. And like you just said, make it fun, make it interesting, show people how much we love them, and just, you know, connect with the community around us and build our community, because that's the most important thing. So I can't wait.
Looking forward to it.
I might bust a rap or something like that on
I'm
the
sure
show.
you will.
I probably will. Throw some bars and get them ready.
Talking about our new lineup, Kyle Wallace is in the studio. Kyle's new show is going to be called Truth to Power. It will air from noon until 1 p.m. starting next Monday, January 20th. And Jammin' with Juice will now be the new morning show from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Are we going to have the same format, style, and segments that I have gotten used to with Jammin' with Juice? Wait, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole.
I'm kidding. You will.
You better take me down the rabbit hole. And I want to sip to stuff on Friday. Even though it's in the morning, I'll be sipping my orange juice. So we're still going to sip to that on Fridays. Yeah. And we're still going to go down the rabbit hole, Benjamin.
Correct. We'll be going down the rabbit hole and then some.
Okay. Oh, and then some.
Yeah, I might have a few Easter eggs in there. How about that?
All right, because you got a whole nother hour to go down the rabbit hole.
No, I just saw somebody eating an ostrich egg.
It's huge. It's like a dozen eggs.
I don't know why somebody would do that. You know what they look like? They look like me.
Wait, what? It was a black person eating this?
No, I said did not look like me.
Oh, okay. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I've always wanted to try ostrich egg myself. It's just a big old egg. I love eggs. So, I don't know. Ostrich, it's so hard to say. Ostrich egg might be a little exotic. I mean, hell, people eat fish eggs.
So
that's true. That's caviar, right? Or squid?
No, it's caviar.
They eat the duck eggs too, with the duck partially born.
So good. That sounds so good.
No, the duck eggs. It's a delicacy, I guess, in Southeast Asian countries where the duck. It's like a duck embryo, and I guess you eat it raw.
That sounds good though.
Wait a minute. I don't think you know what Sherwin's saying.
That's fresh meat.
He said.
It's a baby duck in the egg.
You eat babies. Okay.
People eat veal all the time.
They're gonna be out here picking at you.
Nobody eats veal all the time.
I mean, people eat babies. I mean, look at Al. He's a baby eater.
What the heck is happening?
Oh wow.
Listen.
It's General Juice, y'all.
Oh wow.
Thank God.
I'll tell y'all right now, I'm not eating no baby duckling like that. I might eat a regular egg, like a little chick. But other than that, no. Do y'all know that people really be really rude when it comes to these chickens and they about to get them and they take them by the neck, they swing around like this, and then they kill them and then break them off? I'm like,
eat the chicken, so that's worse. If you didn't eat the chicken, they wouldn't have to kill the chicken.
You mean to tell me you chasing a chicken around live, you grabbing it by the neck, you going like this?
No, because I'm a vegan.
You just had some chicken last night.
Don't judge me.
I'm just saying, I'm not taking no chicken and wringing it, but bringing it by the neck.
You gotta do what you gotta do to survive, Carrie. All right, if it's the chicken out here, if it's the last chicken on earth, it's the last chicken on earth, and it's you and that chicken, and nobody else is around, I'm gonna eat that chicken.
No, you gotta be careful.
No fruit around, bro. Look, ain't no fruit on the trees.
Okay, you know what? 2025 is all about staying alive, and the way the world is looking, we don't know if we're going to have any crops anymore, Carrie. We don't know what's about to happen in 2025. So if there's a little chicken out there, hell, even if there's a little bitty dog out there, all right?
Yeah, eating the chicken last week.
Little chihuahua. Y'all don't remember that, the Great Depression?
This is a sick Negro.
I am a sick Negro. I remember reading in a book, in the history books, when the Great Depression was going on, a man had to make a choice. He had to choose the family dog or his family starving for the rest of the summer, and
they said yo quiero.
Yeah,
Taco Bell. They was eating that.
They chopped him up. They chopped him up. Might have turned Chinese after that.
You gonna get Sherwin show canceled?
I'm just saying.
No, they won't.
But
they're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
He's eating the duck as well. My goodness.
Excuse me. What?
Throw a little seasoning on there.
Got Kyle Wallace in the studio, Ben Jamin and Carrie Noni talking about the new lineup.
People eat anything if it's seasoning on it.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, we won't.
You eat chitlins?
Not anymore.
Hello.
We on the phone?
Hi.
Who the hell is this?
Hi. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good yourself. I'm just calling to see if I'm calling number 8.
Oh, not even close.
You want to tell us congratulations, brother?
Yeah, say congratulations to Ben and Carrie and their morning show, and then Kyle Wallace on Truth to Power. Say congratulations.
Oh, congratulations to you. That's what's up. I'm glad for the good news. I'll be listening to you guys.
He had no idea.
Thank you.
I love you too.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
He had no clue. Well, I'm looking forward to the new lineup. Tell you what, guys, I got to take a break. Why don't you guys stick around?
You don't.
Yeah, I do.
You don't.
I got to take. I actually take breaks. I have discipline.
And I had to go to a meeting because I'm still a very busy person. Despite I am no longer the director of content, so
ain't nobody boss no more.
I am nobody's boss anymore. But I do have to still go to a meeting. But I just want to say thank y'all so much.
I'm gonna start talking to you any kind of way now. You ain't my boss.
Go right ahead. I'm gonna go straight to HR on that ass.
Yeah. Yes, he sure will.
And I bet you he will.
Can I just tell the real quick story about when we were at the RNC? The three of us were hanging out.
Okay.
And we were off the clock. And we was like, hey, let's go down to the RNC because we had access. And we were off work. So maybe we had a beverage or two. And we happened to run into Kyle. And Kyle was like, wait a second. Have you all been imbibing? And out of nowhere, Ben Jam was like, whose daddy are you? You ain't nobody's daddy. You can't tell me that I can't.
I was not partaking, by the way, on record.
Carrie, you were probably drunker than everyone.
No, I wasn't. I was recording everyone, though.
She was recording.
So she got all the juice on y'all. Wait till that one come out.
Oh, I'm building up a doc.
Surviving Kyle Wallace.
Hell no. Not me.
Surviving GKB.
You can't tell me I can't drink. Whose daddy are you? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
1017 The Truth is now the proud home of Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference basketball. Tune in every week so you don't miss out on the classic rivalry game we all love, the high-flying dunks that leave us in awe, and the memorable moments where Milwaukee basketball legends are born. City Conference basketball on 1017 The Truth is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice is a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom, it's a right to have a child, it's a right to not have children, and this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's up, baby? Yell everything this time, you know what I'm talking about? Yellow rims, yellow big booty, yellow bones, yellow lambs, yellow MPs, yellow watch.
Welcome back to the program. This was Benjamin's request.
Yellow living room set.
Rick just said that I was ghetto. Ben is ghetto.
You Southside of Racine, holla at me.
Well, we here at the WGKB News and
That's not a nice thing to say. Ghetto is a negative term.
Ben comes into the studio like he's going down an NBA ramp about to go ball. Let's get it. Stand up.
That's the kind of energy we need, Rick. Maybe you should have that kind of energy.
You don't even have that type of energy.
Yes, I do. I'm very energetic. I'm the most energetic.
Quiet.
I come in and then I get on the microphone and I shine like a diamond.
Exactly. So you don't have that energy.
I got all the energy.
You're just good at what you do.
I'm extremely good at what I do. Thank you for noticing that, Rick.
I said that all the time. I give you flowers all the time.
Carrie, what y'all gonna talk about on your first day? I want to know all the topics and all the segments. It was Martin Luther King Day. Yay, Martin Luther King.
Trump.
Yay. That's Inauguration Day on MLK Day.
Very true.
So that's the main thing probably we'll discuss. We're going to have some poets on, some young youth poets.
Oh.
They're going to do their poetry or their essay. Which one?
I believe they do their poetry.
Yeah, they're going to do their poetry.
Because the black kids write a poem about what Martin Luther King means to them.
Yeah.
And they usually all sound exactly the same.
Hey.
They typically do, but you know, every now and again you get those few students that come out and it's like, dang, that was very a unique piece. because they offer a unique perspective. I remember being one of those kids, not for particularly in Milwaukee, but I remember being one of those kids that anytime you were to assign me a task of doing an essay or a poetry, I took it very serious, and I always stood out every time.
You're a rapper.
Well, I am. I'm a rapper. I'm a radio host. I'm a father. Shout out to my baby Hazel. And, I do my thing.
I'm a father.
I'm sorry to be laughing, Ben, but I was just thinking about the story that you told, which was probably one of the funniest things I've ever heard on radio in my life.
Which one?
About your best friend, and you and him used to ride the bus together. And
my boy Dominic.
and he was special needs, God bless him.
Yeah.
And you and him rode the bus together, which makes a lot of us
But
think
he didn't know he was special needs.
Nah.
That's the funny part.
I'm telling y'all, if y'all met Dominic, y'all
He
would know.
didn't know he was special.
He didn't know his friend was special needs.
which
He
means-
was riding on this short bus with this special needs friend willingly.
Ride or die, bro.
Bro, and that's my thing. Like, if y'all ever met my boy Dominic, shout out to Dominic. He works at Walmart in Racine. Look, you can go to Walmart, and I'm telling you, if you talk to Dominic right now, you would not know that he was special needs.
Yes,
at
we
all.
would.
I'm telling
Yes,
you,
we would.
I'm telling
He got
you.
a whole job, bro.
He got a job, bro, and he talks to meet and greets everybody. Sometimes he's the meet and greeter person. Sometimes he's grabbing
But
cards.
bro, did you not realize that it was a short bus?
Bro, actually, look, okay, everybody talks about the bus being short, but the bus is almost just as big as the other one.
Bro,
That just means there was a lot more of y'all.
It wasn't a full size
So
bus,
Ben,
bro.
is he your age?
Dominic was actually he's a year older than me. He's a year
Okay,
older
so
than I am.
if his job at Walmart is to be the greeter or the cart person, and he's in his 30s or near 30 years old, that's not a lot of advancement. You know what I mean? Like, he's not. I thought if I know somebody that works at Walmart, they're like a regional manager.
Look,
he's the cart man.
Dominic is the cart man. He plays basketball really well. And I'm telling you, talking about somebody having a three-pointer, the Steph Curry shot. He been had that ever since Days on the Block. So
Very skilled.
He's very skilled. All I'm going to say is, if y'all ever met Dominic, he'd be the most loving, most caring person that y'all probably ever met in your life, besides Benjamin.
I'm sure he is.
I'm telling y'all.
I'm sure.
But these are real stories out of my life. And see, honestly, Sherwin, that's one of the things that I've actually picked up from you, right? Like, actually.
I ain't got no short bus friends. You ain't picked that up from me. I got long bus friends. My friends take a long bus.
Pause.
Doing the craft to talk radio, one of the things that I know for a fact that you should be putting out there is just stories. You should be a great storyteller. And I think that's one thing that you have as far as skills go. You definitely are great at telling stories. And that's one of the things I was like, you know what, when I get behind the microphone, I got to make certain that I tell people a beautiful story, whether it's us dropping news stories each and every day, whether it's stories about ourselves, whether it's the rabbit holes that you guys get from us, or whether it's our sip to that you guys get from us. It's a beautiful story that at the end of the day, people are able to not only learn from, but grow from. And ultimately, I feel like a lot of times when we do our show, people are able to identify with certain things inside themselves by listening to us. Like, oh man, I was thinking that same damn thing.
That's how you can relate and connect to people. And I'm glad that you're going to able to share your stories, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and people can go anywhere to find out the daily news, but they can only come to Jammin' with Juice to get your perspective on what's happening in the world.
Right.
I got a very important question for you, Carrie.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very important question. We only have a little bit of time left. I need you to give me a good, thorough answer.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to sit in this seat? Who sits in the catbird seat? Who's going to be at the top and who's going to be at the bottom?
Whoa, that sounds freaky. We'll probably keep it how it is now. Because with us, we don't really look at the seats as like higher power.
Oh, yes, they are. This is the whole seat. The catbird seat.
That's not how we think.
Yeah, that's not how we think about
We're a
it.
team.
You supposed to be up here giving
What
us
do you mean
tips,
by that?
and you being messy. You
No,
old
I'm not.
messy 40-year-old.
Yeah.
40.
We're co-stars. We both.
That's funny.
We both share equal power when it comes down to these microphones.
So right now, my show is technically over. So y'all still are doing your show right now.
Yeah, get out the way.
Technically.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Jammin' with Juice is up next.
Truth Nation, mark your calendars for Monday, January 20th, because that is the official launch date for my new